Collins running out of real estate. Heads back upfield, 25 to the 30, the 35 to 40, the 45 to 50. He has only Kovalevsky to beat. Gets through him, the 10, and touchdown for Collins.
Garte looks to throw. He fires toward the goal line, and that is caught by Kadeem Wilson for a game-winning Gators touchdown.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores! Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the Profs will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Sends one on goal and he scores! Jonah Popre scores for the second time tonight.
And it is a power play goal! The pressure is there. Wilson putting it in the end zone. It is up for grabs. Did someone come down with it? No, incomplete. The Pharaohs are the 2022 IFA champions.
Live from New Utrecht High School in Brooklyn, New York, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of the Independent Football Association. Tonight's game features the New York Crusaders taking on the New York Patriots in each team's 2023 season opener. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partner, David Pizzuto. And Dave, 3 weeks ago, we were here at New Utrecht High School to cover the Crusaders' red versus white scrimmage. Now, we get to see how all of their preseason preparation has come together in their home opener. We also get our first look at the New York Patriots, as well as our first opportunity to cover IFA football in the regular season. It's going to be an exciting night.
Absolutely. Both of these teams are primed and ready to go. The sun is shining, at least for now, Joe, and both teams love what they see on the field. Big, bright uniforms, big, bright stars on each side. Everybody is out for this game. Like you said, it's the season opener for both teams. It's the IFA's opener, and right now we're looking at two teams in that New York division that are vying for a division crown and, of course, championship hopes at the end of the season.
Big rivalry game here today. We're looking very much forward to this matchup. But before we take a closer look at the two teams playing in tonight's game, let's get to know a bit more about the Independent Football Association. You'll see that come up on your screen. The season format in the IFA, the official season, takes place in the spring. The fall schedule for these teams includes games against both junior colleges and NCAA Division III programs. Each team in the IFA will play a 6-game schedule plus the playoffs. Here's a more detailed breakdown of what that 6-week schedule is going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's something to really be excited about, because one thing that happened before the season started, Joe, was that a couple of teams pulled out of the IFA, and normally that's a bad thing. But what the IFA did is they banded together with the TFL, the Tri-Borough Football League, and what they decided was to have some conference games, and those games would count towards the standings for each team. It would give those teams a chance that lost some games a chance to play one another, and then you see from there what happens at the end of the season. The top 3 teams in each division will make the playoffs, so 6 of the 8 teams will make it, and then, of course, it all comes to a head at the championship game on June 3rd. We obviously don't know where and when that game will be, because it will depend on which teams make that championship game, but all 8 IFA teams are eyeing a championship. They all feel like they belong there, including the 2 teams here tonight, the Patriots and our Crusaders.
And as you see on your screen, each team will play a 6-game regular season schedule plus the playoffs. Playoff scenario as follows. Top 3 teams in each division will make the playoffs. The 1 seed gets a bye. The 2 seed will play the 3 seed in the first round of the playoffs in each division. There you get a look at all 8 teams in the IFA. Of course, today we get a look at the Crusaders and the Patriots.
You could see the way things are broken down. They did lose a couple of teams right before, but those 8 teams are legitimate teams. And what really stands out here, Joe, is the footprint that these teams leave. You know, we have teams here from New England, from the New York metro region. You see the teams from Syracuse and Boston and Seacoast there, and we cross teams from Connecticut and Maine. So there's a large footprint for this league, which means we see a lot of talent from not so much locally, that we don't really get a chance to see often, and that's exciting. It's exciting for these guys playing, and it's exciting for us as broadcasters.
And ahead of tonight's matchup, let's get to know a bit more about each of the two teams that will be facing off in this evening's game, beginning with the New York Crusaders. They originally began this organization as the Bed-Stuy Crusaders several years ago. As this organization is approaching 7 years old, they became the New York Crusaders in 2019. This will be their second season competing in the Independent Football Association. And now, with the Crusaders set to begin their second season in the IFA, here's a look at the schedule they will play this season.
Yeah, it's a modified schedule because we knew that they were going to be playing the Patriots, but we also saw that they were going to be playing the Connecticut Spartans, which is a team that folded their team. So the New York Crusaders will play a modified schedule. They'll play some teams that belong in the Tri-Borough Football League. The Bangers are the ones that really stand out there because that's a home game for this Crusaders team. The Bangers were in the TFL Championship last year, and then a completely independent game against the New York Department of Corrections on April 22nd. That game is kind of a traditional game that the Crusaders have on their schedule each year. It's a very competitive game, and so if you're a Crusaders fan, it's a real hybrid of competition. You got competition from the IFA, you got outside independent teams, and of course you have the TFL on the schedule as well. And all of these games, of course, count for the IFA standings. So should be pretty interesting if you're a Crusaders fan.
No doubt about that, Dave. And let's shift our attention over to the Crusaders' opponent tonight, the New York Patriots. They opened their season with 3 straight road games. There's a look at the Patriots' schedule. There you see their schedule bookended against this Crusaders team. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, a rivalry game. However, they will also have games against TFL opponents. You see those there against the Wolfpack and the Ducks. Those games, TFL matchups for the Patriots this year. We're going to get a look at the TFL tomorrow here on the PDF Sports Network, a video-only broadcast for us, but we get a look at a couple of those TFL teams tomorrow, the Mount Vernon Bangers and the Long Island Eagles tomorrow on the PDF Sports Network. We look forward to that matchup. However, we're just a few minutes away from kickoff in this matchup, so Dave is going to head down to the field, and ahead of today's game, he will have a conversation with Coach Will and Eric Johnson of the New York Crusaders.
All right, Joe, I am here with Coach Will from the New York Crusaders. Coach, a long preseason. It culminates into this game here against your arch rivals to boot. How's the team feeling, and are they ready here to do it for real against the opponent?
Listen, I'm going to be honest, it's semi-pro. Everybody, when they come out for pregame, everybody's dragging, still trying to get it together, get themselves together, either with equipment or just minor things. But we've been practicing since January. I'm very good. A lot of teams, we practice Sunday nights indoors from 8:30 to 10:30 when most teams are home in the bed already. So we've been putting in a lot of work. Like I said, we've been practicing since January. Here we are, week 1, ready to go.
And Coach, that's right, you have been putting in a lot of work. What have you seen so far in your team this preseason that leads you to be optimistic about this IFA season?
The speed and talent that we have amongst the skills on offense. All right, defense still has to prove. Special teams the same way, still has to prove. But for the most part, I'm confident in our offense that we can score with the type of offense that we can score.
Absolutely, Coach. And your opponent today, the New York Patriots, is a team you know a lot about.
Yes.
You face them multiple times each year. What do they do well? What do you have to stop today?
Okay, every time I look at the Patriots, they're not rebuilding, they're reloading. So some of the guys over there I coached, some of the guys over there I played with. So I know Dave Patterson. Those guys are very good, very well coached. I actually played with some of the coaching staff. And we're just going to come out and we're going to go ground and pound.
Absolutely. And Coach, every team wants to win a championship. Every team wants to hoist a trophy at the end of the season. But in order for this season to be successful for you, what has to happen?
Chemistry. As long as these guys, they buy into what we're doing and they allow us to coach them and they play together and play assignment football, I can't see why not we won't be in the IFA championship game.
Absolutely. Coach Will, best of luck today and best of luck throughout the season.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Coach Will from the New York Crusaders. Joe, will throw it back to you upstairs.
Dave's conversations with Eric Johnson coming up on the other side of this short break.
All right, Joe, I'm here with Eric Johnson here of the New York Crusaders. Eric, you're listed as athlete, which means you're all over the field. Where are you specifically, looking forward to lining up today?
Defensively, I like the chase Marquise around, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
All right, so I talked to Coach Will. He said, it's been a long preseason. You guys have been working hard all year long. It all comes down to this day to be your first showcase, 1 out of 8 games this season. What are you guys looking to do today to kind of set the tone for the rest of the season?
Just improvement, steadily improvement, work on what we've got, the mistakes we made last game, and try to improve on that. We're going to take baby steps. We can't make any promises.
Absolutely. As far as the team and what you guys do well, if you guys are playing Crusader football and it's looking good, what are some of the things you guys are doing well that's going to be hard for other teams to stop?
The defense flying around, right? We got a lot of athletes on the defense, positionless players that can fly around the ball. So that's our biggest attribute.
So Eric, the sun is shining right now. By the end of this game, it could be a downpour here. Rain could play a factor. How does the weather affect the game like today?
The weather's always going to affect the game. You want to try to score early, get up often. Hopefully you got a 2-score lead and the other team got a pass in the rain. Nobody likes to go to the rain. So hopefully you'll be up and be able to come up with the win.
All right, Eric, it was fun talking to you. Good luck today out there.
Appreciate it.
Got it. Eric Johnson of the New York Crusaders. We're going to do big things on the field. Joe will kick it back up to you.
And welcome back to New Utrecht High School in Brooklyn as we are set for kickoff between the New York Patriots and the New York Crusaders. This game, the opener for both teams. It is the home opener for the Crusaders, who call New Utrecht home. And it will be the Patriots kicking off to get the action started here from New Utrecht High School. 8 teams in the IFA kicking off here this weekend. If you're watching on the day this broadcast goes live on PDF Sports Network for the first time, it is Saturday, April 1st.
It's like Tyree Smith is back deep for the Crusaders to take this one, and they'll be coming towards us. We are perched in the end zone at New Utrecht High School, so we'll do our best to get you down and distance, but looks like it'll be the up man for the return.
George Dawson sent that one away for the Patriots as the tackle is made at about, looks like the 40-yard line.
Yes, right you are. They're positioned right there by the 40, so good starting field position. We mention this every time we cover a game here on Semi-Pro, here on PDF Sportsnet, that sometimes it's advantageous to receive the opening kickoffs because then you can play the field position game from there.
First down and 10 for this New York Crusaders offense. First play of the season upcoming here in the IFA for each of these two teams. As I mentioned before, 8 teams kicking off around the league, vying for one of 6 playoff spots. And a spot in the championship game to be played in June, later this summer.
Yeah, we're going to learn a lot more about the IFA at halftime. We'll have co-owner David Patterson in the booth with us during the halftime. Coach Patterson, as we know him, but Dave Patterson, he is the co-owner of the IFA itself and also is the co-owner of the New York Patriots. So he's here pulling double duty today.
Wide reach in semi-pro football as the first play of the game looked to be a pass, and the Patriots bring the quarterback down. That Patriots pass rush getting in immediately and swallowing up the Crusaders quarterback.
Yeah, that's a loss of 6 yards on the play, so we're going to see a 2nd and 16 here, and not the way you want to open up the game, but we knew, Joe, that coming in, the Crusaders wanted to be able to run the football, and we knew that their quarterback can be one of their primary threats running the ball. We saw a lot of the read option the last time we were here in the red versus white game, and we saw a lot of times where the quarterback was able to tuck it down and keep it himself for some positive yards.
We saw a lot of the ground game in that scrimmage, and early in this game, the Crusaders come out in a spread shotgun set. 4 receivers wide. 2nd and long. They look to throw, and once again, the pressure comes in immediately. I'm not sure he got past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was just so tough to kind of pick your eyes up and find somebody there. But there were a host of Patriots who got in there. Looked like Javier Duran, the defensive lineman, was the first one in, Joe. And another loss makes this a 3rd and 21 now coming up for the Crusaders. And for a team that likes to run the ball, Joe, and likes to play smash mouth, this is exactly the way they did not want to start the game, going backwards, because it's so hard to play that smash mouth brand of football when you're behind in the chains.
It'll be interesting to see here if they just hand it off and look to avoid a costly turnover or another loss, or perhaps they try and air it out and take a chance, maybe draw a flag. Seen teams choose to play this situation both of those ways. Once again, a spread shotgun set, bit of a low snap, and they throw down the middle of the field. The catch is made, and there is plenty of running room for the receiver. Up the sideline, and finally the tackle is made, as it looked like they were petitioning for a late hit on that play. No late hit call, and we do not have a number 11 on our official roster, so we apologize for that. But that's a huge reception on 3rd and very long. The Crusaders have their first big play of the season.
That was Dominic Page, Joe.
We know him.
We just learned, yeah, we're very familiar with Dominic Page, and that was a big first down there, and that time there was some time to throw and to read up the field, and Page was running across the middle of that field, got lost between the defensive backfield, and sprung for a huge gain. So the ball spotted at about the 27-yard line here, 1st and 10.
Huge reception for Page. That was a good throw over the middle as well. He had a safety looming, but Page got to that football first. Enough on it from the Crusaders signal caller. Spread shotgun set once again. The Crusaders look to throw. Quick slant is caught. Move to the outside, makes one man miss. And the Patriots rally to make the tackle at about the 15-yard line.
But another first down as reversing field and getting more yardage on that. The wide out coming in on the slant and then reversing and cutting across. So middle of the field right now is where the Crusaders have opted to attack. And for all that we said about how much the Crusaders want to run the football, a couple of big passes have put them inside the red zone.
Possibly had a flag on that play. Looks like it's going to be a 1st and 20,
so
hold.
So there was a holding on the play.
That play is negated. So 1st and 20 for the Crusaders offense. Looks like they're about to go shotgun once again. Trip set to the left this time. And the quarterback will look to keep it. Not much there in terms of blocking. And the Patriots nearly stripped the football away. Looks like there's a fight for it. And I believe the referee along the sideline did throw that beanbag, indicating a fumble.
Yeah, well, coming out with it was Jay Figueroa for the Patriots. Now, I don't know if they were ruling him down by contact by that point that Figueroa came up with the ball, but he was the one that came out of that scrum with the ball.
And it looks like the Crusaders are going to keep it.
Yeah, I think he was whistled down, Joe, on that, but still it's going to be a 2nd down and about the same distance, 2nd and 20. If not, maybe even a little bit more, but we'll call it 20 for our purposes.
I like that play call on a 1st and long, sending that receiver over to the left and trying to draw the defense's attention to that side of the field. The quarterback kept it. As Beckles looked to run, he did not have the blocking on that particular play. Right back to a spread shotgun set for the Crusaders. 2nd and long. They'll look to throw. Goes to the outside. And that was dangerous, as that very easily could have been intercepted by Mike Ellis.
Yeah, Page was the intended target again on the right side. And that time again, good timing in the pocket there. And defensive back tried to get to it, but ends up as an incomplete, and it'll be a 3rd down and long here. But the Crusaders airing it out. showing that they can here and testing that Patriots secondary.
That just goes to show that when you have an intra-squad scrimmage like we covered last month, you just never know what plays come out of the playbook when you break your team in half.
That's true.
We saw a lot of the ground game in early March covering that scrimmage. We're getting a look at the aerial attack here this evening. About 20 to go for the Crusaders here. Once again, a spread shotgun set. Throw short. The reception is made out of the backfield, and that's going to be a very short gain, perhaps just back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you look to just get it out there to your halfback and hoping he can make a couple of men miss, and got past the first wave, but the Patriots were there in numbers to bottle them up, so looks like no gain on the play after all. So this will be a 3rd and 20. Now remember, it was in a 3rd and 21-22 where we saw that huge play by Page across the middle of the field. We'll see if they look to go back to that. But Beckles has had a little bit of time to throw here the last couple of times he's been dropping back. We'll see if the Patriots elect to put some pressure on here. Force him to get rid of the football quickly.
They may have gained a yard on that last play. Michael James back to pass, looking deep and overthrows his intended target. That was Page once again, the intended receiver, as there was room over the top there. Patriots defense had 3 backs in the area of Page, but that ball sails high over the Crusaders wideout.
Yeah, a good idea, Joe, again, on that play, and receiver was there. Just timing just a little bit off, so we're seeing how that's affected. And again, that holding call on 1st down ends up being huge here. 4th down and 20, and tough play here for the Crusaders. If they can make this thing work, they're in. Now there is 1 man back. You wonder, Joe, if this will be a punt here to try and get them inside the 10 or the 5-yard line.
I think
Xavier Karp is all the way back.
There's one thing you want to be sure of here if you're the Crusaders. Kick it out of bounds. That kick in the field of play. It bounces at about the 20. It's picked up on the move, and looking to take it up the sideline was Xavier Karp. He is taken down by a host of tacklers at about the 30.
Yeah, so that one was allowed to bounce, and unfortunately for one of the Crusaders gunners, he kind of overran the football on that and wasn't able to kind of double back in time to keep the ball where it was. Otherwise, if he would have downed that, it probably would have been down at about the 12, 13-yard line. So Patriots get a little bit of a break, but a good stop on the Crusaders' opening drive, and now we'll see what they're all about on offense.
Well, I'm always a big proponent of the punt out of bounds when you can, especially when you have your opponent pinned down by their own end zone. The Patriots will start this drive at about their own 30-yard line. They will break huddle momentarily. I'm trying to get a look at who it is leading that huddle. Looks like that is number 1, Marquise Jernigan, who will start the game at quarterback for the Patriots. Christian Ramsey flanking him in the backfield. Montgomery and Cologne wide to the right. Matthews in the slot on the left. He motions right. Malik Wright, the wideout on the left side, as Christian Ramsey's first carry is a good one. He breaks a tackle and is taken down after a gain of at least 15 yards on that play. That's more than good enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, just inside of midfield, it looks like the ball will be spotted, so a gain of close to 20 yards on that play. And that time maybe the motion crossed up the Crusaders a little bit as they had to deal with the motion man and the give on the inside, and we saw the big hole open up.
Patriots will come out in a spread shotgun set here. On that last play, it was Matthews in motion out of the left slot.
Yeah, great look on that replay. We saw that hole opening up there for Ramsey, and he was able to do the rest with his wheels.
Matthews in motion once again as they hand off to Ramsey. Another nice hole. And he is out across the 40-yard line and tackled for another nice gain.
Yeah, and as a running back, when you can level those shoulders and hit that hole that way, it allows Ramsey to kind of get that stutter step, make it quicker, find that hole, and then burst right through it a little bit earlier. So great job by the Patriots allowing their running back to square up
Another first down for this Patriots offense. Spread shotgun set once again for the third straight play. Jernigan will move Ramsey to his right as he looks to throw. He fires into heavy traffic over the middle, and that falls incomplete. A lot of traffic over the middle on that last play. He was looking for Tajay Montgomery on that throw.
Yeah, that's the first time the Patriots have thrown the football here on this opening drive. You want to be able to see a little bit of everything when you come out for the first time, so I can understand that call, but you wonder if you're the Patriots here, that ground game, working on those first two plays, if they stay consistent with that, they can have some really good success here tonight.
First, second down of the game for the Patriots offense. Once again, a man in motion. That's Montgomery. And it looks like we had movement. Question is, which way will this one go?
Yeah, trying to keep my eyes. It looks like this one is going to be against the defense, Joe. So they are marching it down 5 yards closer. So it'll be a 2nd down and 5 after the Crusaders penalty. And that's another thing, Joe. I know we spoke about it off air. Takeaways from that red versus white scrimmage game from the Crusaders. The pre-snap penalties really hurt the Crusaders, both sides, during that game. Something that Coach Will and his players really want to crack down on here and get better and better as the season goes. But that one hurts at 2nd and 5.
Shotgun once again for the Patriots. They will fake the handoff and look to throw. Jernigan forced to roll right. He's under heavy pressure, avoids a host of potential tacklers and gets it away. This is Ramsey, and he is able to make a man miss, still fighting, and he's finally forced down along the sideline. It looks like that is a first down in the red zone.
Yeah, but the flags were out again, Joe, and it will be holding against the Patriots. That occurred when Montgomery was in the backfield. I'm sorry, when Jernigan was in the backfield, dancing and cutting to his left was when that flag came out. But good job by the Crusaders with the pursuit in the offensive backfield on Jernigan, forcing the penalty, and now we'll have a 2nd and 15 instead of a 1st and 10 in the red zone.
Big opportunity here for the Crusaders defense now, forcing the Patriots into a 2nd down and long. Crusaders move the ball down the field on their first drive, but that drive stalled. They had a big opportunity on their last passing play. That pass sailed over the head of Dominic Page, and now off a Crusaders punt. The Patriots have driven the ball out across midfield.
And I know we're still very early in this game, Joe, but I'm surprised that the Patriots haven't gone back to the ground game. And they've used a lot of time in this huddle. I wonder here if they're running short on the play clock, but
I was thinking the same thing.
Yep, counting them down. 3 seconds left on the play clock.
And they get the snap off just in time. Jernigan looks to throw left, and that pass is complete. Malik Wright on the reception. He's still going, and he is finally taken down close to the goal line.
Wow, great job by the receiver that time. Looks like it was Malik Wright. And, you know, job number one, Joe, was to come down with that pass. I mean, he made a great catch over the outstretched defensive back's hands, and then he was able to make 2 men miss, and now we have a first down deep inside of Crusaders territory.
Right. Not only did a great job to make that reception going up above the defense, but he was able to make a couple of men miss.
Yeah, I believe we're seeing a replay here. Might cut into live action, but
the amount of time between plays, I'm not so sure about that, Dave.
Yeah, just a great job getting up and getting to that ball and then cutting it the rest of the way. Back to live action here.
Once again, a spread shotgun set with a man in motion. Jernigan will keep it. He has blocking to his left. He heads toward the pylon, and it looked like he may have been just a bit short as he was pushed out of bounds well inside of the 5. Looks like at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, looks like inside the 5, and that was a nice job that time by Jernigan to continue to stretch it out, wider and wider to the far side of the field, and the Crusaders do a nice job of getting to him before he can get into the end zone. But that's good, patient running by Jernigan, and a better job by the Patriots not to get called for a hold on that. Those slow developing running plays that continue to get stretched out, those are prime time opportunities to get caught holding. But great job that time, and the Patriots have it, 2nd and goal.
Trip shotgun set on 2nd and goal. They will hand off to Ramsey up the middle. He is stood up, and he is short.
Yeah, nice job that time. A host of Crusaders in on that play.
Looked like they were led by number 52, Jeffrey Davis, according to our roster. He was at the bottom of that pile that helped to stand Ramsey up.
Yeah, I was just about to say he was the first one in, and then from there, it was the rest of the team converging on Ramsey and balling him up. So big play here, 3rd down and goal. Patriots, a lot of options here inside the 5-yard line as we get another look at Ramsey's attempt up the gut.
Once again, a spread shotgun set. 3rd and goal for the Patriots offense, looking for their first score of the season. Jernigan has it, surveys the field, and he runs out of time as he is sacked.
Eric Johnson with the sack. He was the one that we focused on during the pregame. We knew he was going to be a beast in the backfield, and Johnson able to get there. That one took Jernigan by surprise. Great defensive play for the Crusaders, and it's 4th and goal coming up.
That is a big-time play by Johnson on 3rd down, and that makes this a much more difficult goal-to-go situation.
Yeah, we take a look at that 2nd down stop again. That set up that 3rd down. And you could just see the speed of Johnson coming in almost unabated, Joe, but tough tackle on Jernigan.
And that's how you make sure the quarterback can't escape. And that's a very dangerous play for the quarterback. As Jernigan will look to throw here on 4th and goal, and that is through the hands of the intended target. Malik Wright was in the end zone. Now, we do have 2 number 13s on the roster at wideout for the Patriots. Malik Wright and Dante Clark, both wearing 13.
Right, and we're going to try and get you which one is which because the Patriots do have the last names on the back of the jerseys.
That's right.
Helps us out, but
that is right.
They are here. Right.
Now, I mistakenly said 4th and goal. The Patriots offense is still out there. So did we miss something?
Maybe that first play was a 1st down, Joe. And so instead of it being 2nd and goal, maybe that was 1st and goal. So we apologize for that. But this almost assuredly is now a 4th and goal. And yes, it is. We see now the 4 is on the chains as well. Although it was on the chains the last play too.
Okay, I
was not imagining that.
I wanted to make sure. Jernigan has the snap. Nobody is moving. He will throw up a fade toward the corner of the end zone. And that pass is dropped. Now, taking a look, it seemed as if 2/3 of the players on the field weren't moving.
Yeah, maybe there was a pre-snap penalty. I don't know offhand.
Well, this is where we're at a big disadvantage, being positioned in the other end zone. But it is easier to see the numbers from here.
We are
at least the Patriots' numbers on offense. With the white jerseys. If they were in black, it could be a bit more problematic.
Well, we are officially 100 yards away from where the action is. We are in the back of the opposite end zone.
I think you could give us 110 if they're at the 1-yard line.
So trying to see the sticks because if that was a pre-snap penalty,
good luck.
It's still 4th and goal.
It's 4th and goal. Jernigan looks to throw. He's surveying the field. He's forced out of the pocket. He throws for the back corner of the end zone, and the catch is made for a Patriots touchdown. Tajay Montgomery with the first New York touchdown of the year. And with that, the Patriots take a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, Montgomery gets credit for the touchdown, Joe, but really that was Marquise Jernigan. His ability to get out of the pocket and scramble over to his right, that's what drew the defenders off of Montgomery. That's what left him wide open in the corner of the end zone. 6-0 now in favor of the Patriots. A very good opening drive, and when they needed it most on the 4th and goal, they cash in against the Crusader defense.
Crusaders did not make it easy, but the Patriots offense through the air picks up their first touchdown of the season, and they will look to add 2 more right here on a conversion try. Yeah,
so pretty methodical with the run to get them there, and then it's the pass on the last few few plays, or at least the ones that set them up with the 1st and goal, and then they cash in via the pass as well.
Montgomery was sent in motion to the left of Jernigan. He now settles in. Split back set, handoff is faked.
It's fumbled, yeah.
And I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like they attempted to fake the handoff, and then the ball was fumbled.
Yeah, it was either that or Jernigan tried to hand it off to Montgomery. Montgomery either just missed it. We'll probably get another look at it on the replay, but Montgomery either missed it or Jernigan took off the other way without the ball. Either way, that's an opportunity for 2 points on the board, squandered as we get another look at it.
See if we can get a better look here.
Yeah, you see the running back switch in the backfield, Montgomery and Ramsey. And I thought he
miscommunication.
Yeah, I thought he wanted to give that.
I think
and
you're
maybe
right.
Montgomery just didn't offer at it enough. So 6-0 remains the score. Still, Joe, a good first drive by the Patriots. They showed us a little bit of everything on that drive.
No question about it. And aside from the success of their running game and, of course, the touchdown through the air, what really stood out to me on that drive was the ability of Jernigan to extend plays. Even on that play with the hold, which, of course, helped, he was able to really keep that play going and give himself a chance to find his back out of the backfield. That play was negated, but we saw a lot from him on that drive as well, both as a passer with his ability to extend plays and as a ball carrier. We also saw some good things from the Crusaders the first time they had the ball.
Right. If not for the negative play with the sack and then the penalty, they were driving pretty well.
If not for just a bit of an overthrow, they may have scored the first touchdown of this game. James didn't miss Page by much over the top. He was wide open with nothing but green in front of him. This ball is sent away. Once again, George Dawson kicking off for the Patriots. The Crusaders will take it back up the center of the field. And the tackle is made, it appears, at about the 40.
Yeah, so again, good starting field position here for the Crusaders. A couple of first downs away from being deep in Patriots territory. We'll see what they elect to do. Had some success throwing the football, getting good time in the pocket.
I'll be very interested to see how the Crusaders look to open up this drive. They came out on their last drive, spread shotgun set. Believe they only faked the handoff once. Really looked to air it out on drive number 1. That surprised us just a bit. But they were effective when they were able to avoid penalties. It will be 1st and 10.
Flag is down. Might have taken too much time here.
This drive will start from the 45-yard line, depending on the outcome of this penalty.
Yeah, great job by our camera. Louis Matrone picking up that call. Looked like an illegal shift.
You know, on that last play that the Patriots ran, I thought for a moment they might get called for an illegal shift with both backs moving at the same time.
But here we go again, Joe. 1st and 15 now, so Crusaders moving backwards before they move forwards, getting themselves in a hole, see if they can crawl out of this one.
Once again, the Crusaders look to pass. It's a quick swing out of the backfield and a big hit right there. And that fires up the Patriots sideline. In on that tackle, it appeared was George Dawson, who was also the kickoff specialist.
Right. Helping your own cause there. So they go backwards again. It's now 2nd and 16. Loss of a yard on the play, maybe a little bit more, but still. Crusaders need a big play here. And again, that pass in the flat, we've seen that before too. You're hopeful that you can make one guy miss, maybe get to that second level, but the Patriots have been up to the task so far in the backfield. So we have whistles here, and we'll see. Could be the end of the first quarter, Joe.
That will do it for quarter number 1. Our score through the first 15 minutes. New York Patriots 6, New York Crusaders nothing. When we come back, the second quarter of this Independent Football Association matchup on the PDF Sports Network. Start of the second quarter from New Utrecht High School in Brooklyn. The Patriots leading the Crusaders 6-0. Crusaders have the football, but once again, Dave, they find themselves in a 2nd and long.
Yeah, they do. And the Crusaders have a little extra time here to talk things over. That's a much-needed break without having to call a timeout. They switch ends of the field, get a chance to kind of think it over a little bit. And again, I think it's that pre-snap penalty on first down, the shift penalty, puts you in a hole early, takes you out of rhythm. Now you got to start 1st and 15 instead of 1st and 10, and doesn't sound like much, 5 yards, but it changes the whole complexion of the series of downs. And what's more is that the Patriots know it too, and it allows them to be a little bit more aggressive. And we saw the result on 2nd down. They swarmed to the ball, get another loss, and now 2nd and 16.
Crusaders' first drive came to an end after a big completion set them up just outside of the red zone. They then completed a pass for a 1st down that looked to have put them inside of the red zone. That play was negated by a holding penalty, and that really derailed that last drive. James will hand off. And the Patriots defense is right there at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, run up the middle. Number 44 had it, and I'm sorry, it was 0-4, Joe?
I thought it was 00. It is 0-4. 0-4, we do not have a first name. We have the last name Bannerman. We do not have a first name for the man wearing number 4. We do apologize for that. I'm not sure I've ever seen a number in the single digits with a 0 in front of it.
I actually saw a couple during pregame, but 0-4 it is. 3rd and 11 here as they were able to get 5 yards driving forward.
James will look to throw left. He has a man open. Nice move to make a defender miss. Will that be enough for the 1st down is the question. It will not.
Yeah, just short, maybe a couple of yards. But, again, that's another one of those plays, Joe, where you kick it out into the flat. Now we have a late flag that comes in. Couple of guys late getting away from one another. So we'll see if they add on more. We'll just have to see which direction or if they offset. But that's another one of those plays, Joe, that's in the flat. You know, maybe 2 or 3 yards up the field, but then you're depending on your receiver to make a man miss. And we have a personal foul on the Patriots.
That was Steph Grant on that last reception, and credit to him. He made a couple of defenders miss and was able to bring the Crusaders to within a couple of yards of the sticks.
I'm wondering if we missed the first half of that call. Maybe these were offsetting penalties. I'm not sure, because there was one player on the Crusaders side that was very demonstratively angry at the call. Thought maybe they were nullified, or that'll take 15 yards off the board for the Crusaders if indeed there were 2 penalties on the play.
There you get a look toward the end zone.
They are advancing the ball.
New York Alliance drum line, providing the fans with some entertainment in between plays as the officials sort this one out. The flag is still down on the field. And the officials now look like they're going to discuss the call with the 2 benches.
Yeah, possibility here that the penalties will offset and we'll have a replay of 3rd and 11, although those flags came in after the play was over. So this is interesting to see what will develop, and that's why the officials are having a conversation with both sidelines as well. But, Joe, you mentioned the drumline out today. You know, it's a beautiful day, at least for now. We knew rain was in the forecast. We could have it a little bit later, but it's a nice environment here at New Utrecht High School. You know, great weather. The fans are out in numbers. We got the drumline here producing, a lot of great buzz here round about where we are, and both teams showing out here on opening day.
No question about it. A great atmosphere, bolstered just a bit by the great weather. Now, looking ahead toward this weekend, earlier in the week, it appeared as if we might have a monsoon in the forecast. At the very best, we expected 40-mile-an-hour winds under some sunshine with rain to come later in the game. But It looks like that is not going to happen. There is not a cloud in the sky right now. So
and we bought a wetsuit for Louis Matrone, our cameraman, and now that could be a sauna suit, Joe, because if he's wearing that now, he's losing at least 14 pounds today.
No question about it. He's already in all black. The sun, fortunately for him, is not beating down on him. He is shaded along the fence as the action resumes. James is forced out of the pocket. He takes off up the field. And he will fight forward for some extra yards at the end of that play as he's taken down right around the Patriots' 40-yard line.
Yeah, move those sticks. That's another first down for James. And again, great ability to make a couple of men miss right at the line of scrimmage. And again, if you're able to make that play at the point of impact, that's a 1 or 2 yard loss. But James does a great job of making a couple of guys miss. Next thing you know, first down, they move the chains.
First down for the Crusaders here as they get the play call from their sideline. Once again, it's going to be a spread shotgun formation for the New York offense, though New York doesn't help you distinguish much. Both teams from New York, in-state rivals, as James looks to throw. He fires right, and that pass was just a bit off target.
Yeah, just a little bit overthrown off the fingertips of the receiver.
That was Michael Valcourt, the intended target.
Yeah, Valcourt did his best to kind of extend for that, go across his body to try and make that reception.
It will now be a 2nd and 10 for the Crusaders offense, and once again, they will come out in the shotgun. Neither team has come out in a non-shotgun set yet.
Pre-snap penalty again. Looks like the Patriots might have been a little too early, Joe, getting into that backfield.
Well, either Javier Duran got a great jump or he was drawn off sides. We'll see.
No, they're moving that ball up, so.
He jumped off.
Yep, 2nd and 5 instead of 2nd and 10. So big difference here. Patriots get some substitutions into the game. As Crusaders might want to look to go quickly here. Keep their play intact that they were going to call.
Once again, 4 receivers wide for the Crusaders offense. James takes a high snap. Look to his left, is immediately forced to step up through the pocket, and he is taken down. Nice tackle there on that play by Kelvin Mesa.
Yeah, maybe a couple of yards short of a first down here, as they'll move the stick up just a little bit. Maybe didn't get as much as I thought he did. It'll be about 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3 in that range. Long 3, short 4. You pick whichever one you want.
That a message to our engineer today.
Well,
Patrick
Fleming.
Yeah.
Pat does an amazing job. He's probably better than me at estimating the down and distance anyway, but we have a really skewed look at the sideline, especially when it's away from us like this. But I think we got it right here, 3rd and 3.
But the sun shining brightly in our faces. As James looks to throw once again, he fires low to the right, and that pass is incomplete.
Yeah, and James was feeling the heat that time coming in on his blind side, his left side, and kind of rushed that throw a little bit. That one was directly in the flat. And probably would have been short of a first down anyway. Again, it would have been one of those plays where you're hoping the wideout makes somebody miss, but receiver was already down on both knees trying to make that catch, so I'm not sure if that would have went for a positive play at all. It might have even lost a couple of yards if he made the catch.
According to our roster, the nearest receiver was number 22, Shatik Bennett. It is now 4th down for the Crusaders offense. About 3 to go. 2 receivers in tight on the left as they'll roll this one out to the right. And James is running out of time. He throws it away. And that pass is incomplete on 4th down. So the Patriots will get it back as that play was well defended.
Yeah, nice job staying home by the Patriots defense. They didn't over-pursue James on the play. They let him continue to bootleg out, and there was just less and less of a window to throw the more and more he went to his right side. You could see it if you pay attention to the defensive backs who are playing up front on the receivers. You'll see they try to get to the sticks, but there is a host of white jerseys there, and instead of committing to the quarterback, they all just hang back, stay true to their marks, and there's nobody there to throw to. That was almost the exact play the Patriots used to score the touchdown, except you saw the Crusaders commit defensively and give up the 6 points, and that time the Patriots do a nice job defensively to stay true to their assignments, and now they have a first down the other way.
When those bootleg plays on 3rd and 4th down last that long, it's typically trouble.
Yeah.
That was Darnell Peartree on the coverage for the Patriots. Not sure it would have been possible to reel that pass in. but he was the nearest defender to ensure that one was broken up, as we may have had a timeout called here.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure on who here. It might have been the Crusaders.
I think you're right. I think the official did signal in that direction.
All right, so first timeout taken by the Crusaders, and getting back again to that play on fourth down. You know, when you do roll out and bootleg Joe right or left, traditionally you're also cutting off half the field too. So you're making it a little bit easier for the defense to kind of play half the field, because very rarely are quarterbacks able to kind of throw across their bodies and go the opposite way.
I think the danger in that situation is that play goes on longer and longer comes with the potential for one of those receivers to break up the field. And then you're in a foot race toward the goal line with the offense possessing the ball and nothing to lose. It's fourth down, and if you have a receiver and a defensive back in a foot race to the end zone, the quarterback can throw one up, and if it's intercepted, so be it. If it falls incomplete, so be it. There's really nothing to be lost by the offense in that spot, but the Patriots did a good job containing the Crusaders receivers underneath their defensive backs, and they earned themselves another possession, now leading by 6.
Yep. And the Crusaders at least can hang their hat on the fact that they have been able to move the football a little bit. And when they have been able to get some time for James to throw, they have had a little bit of success throwing the football. But, Joe, points have been at a premium for this team. You know, when we saw these two teams played, there was a touchdown scored in each direction, red versus white, but one of those touchdowns was scored via special teams. And the Crusaders did have another scrimmage as well, but they were blanked in that scrimmage as well. So offense, we knew they would be tested coming in, and they'd have to outscore this Patriots team. And the longer they go without points, the more that's clear.
First down screen pass and a fumble by the Patriots, who recover their own fumble, and off to the races for the touchdown is Davin Collins.
And Collins does the little shuffle right in front of our booth. What a play. Collins lost it at first, fumbled it, but that ball kind of just popped right back up to his midsection, and he was able to take it the rest of the way. Broken play of sorts, and interested to see here the replay and focus on the Crusaders defense and where they were and how they lost Collins on that play. You'll see it now on your screen.
Well, they were playing way off coverage. I wouldn't be shocked if they audibled into a screen pass on that play, because the defensive backs were about 7 to 10 yards off the receivers lined up at the line of scrimmage. And Dave, where have we seen that breakaway speed before? Perhaps in the open to today's game. Our intro video package features a kickoff return by Davin Collins from week 1 of the IFA season, now almost 1 year ago.
Yeah, so Davin used to giving us some highlight reel material here on PDF Sports Network, and the Patriots double their lead and look for 2 more.
This snap will take place from right in front of us. That red box you see is the box we occupy today, as that handoff goes to Ramsey. He broke a tackle in the backfield, breaks 2 more, and he's in for the 2-point conversion.
Wow, Joe, how did he get that edge? Christian Ramsey breaking a tackle really in the backfield. Essentially, that play was blown up, and then he was able to once again get to that pylon just quicker, and the Crusaders unable to get low enough to get him down. So 14-0 is our score. We get another look at the tremendous play here by Ramsey. Look how he gets past this first would-be tackler in the backfield. That's really the gorgeous part of this run. He's bottled up right there. 3 gray jerseys, and is able to do the rest on his own. Nice play there by Ramsey.
Positive on that play for the Crusaders, they were in the backfield to blow that one up. The negative, they could not make the tackle, and that will cost them 2 points on that conversion attempt, as we will await a Patriots kickoff here. They now lead 14-0, and all of a sudden the sense of urgency for the Crusaders rises quite a bit. They possessed the ball first in this game, and now they are in danger of perhaps giving the Patriots the final possession of this first half should they not score.
Right.
And if the Patriots were to get on the board again, that's a very steep hill to climb.
Yeah, you think back to that 4th down conversion for the touchdown that the Patriots were able to convert on, and that gives you full momentum. You're able to get a stop there on the opposite way 4th down attempt by the Crusaders, and then a busted play or a couple of broken tackles, and the next thing you know, you're giving up 8 more points. But that's how quickly these games can turn. And all it takes is a mistake or two, and teams are able to get big leads and run away. But the Crusaders have done enough, Joe, on offense to crawl themselves back into this game, and it'll start here on the kickoff.
Well, just as quickly as that screen pass turned fumble turned into a touchdown, we can have one of those plays the other way,
Right.
and it's a one-score game. The Crusaders could really help themselves if they can pull to within one score and make that a possibility, where if you have one of those turnovers with the Patriots possessing the ball, it becomes a tie game. But the offense has to do its job here to make that a potential reality. Good blocking setup on this return, but Crusaders couldn't do much with it.
Yeah, the hole was open and shut very quickly that time. And so the Crusaders will still have some decent field position here to start drive number 3 for them.
Looks like they'll spot this one at the 29-yard line. According to our roster, that was Tyree Smith on that kickoff return.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about that, Joe, was that they let that ball drop. I thought they had enough time to really run under it and get themselves ahead of steam. Instead, they had to wait for it to kind of pop back up. That's when Smith was able to get to it and then hop over to his right side. But no matter, nothing too negative on that play, and the Crusaders have a chance. But their last 2 drives, Joe, they've started with negative yardage. Once was on a sack and then a subsequent penalty. The last time was on a penalty. We'll see if they can get something positive here this time around. I think we might have a new – nope. Thought we had a new signal caller in there, but it'll remain James.
Michael James continues to lead this Crusaders offense. It has been a pass-heavy offense so far. We've seen just about nothing but spread shotgun formations as they will hand off, and there's a huge block at the line of scrimmage, and that carry by Bannerman is taken for a short gain.
Still, though, I like that play. You know, Bannerman's able to kind of, you know, he reads, you know, B gap or 2 gap and then just cuts it back out, and was able to get at least some positive yardage off of that. So they go forward. It's now 2nd down and 7.
James once again in the shotgun. He takes the snap and hands off once again to Bannerman, who is swallowed up immediately.
Yeah, that time nothing doing there. Kind of a counter play.
That'll set up a 3rd down. Not much gained on that last play. It remains 3rd and about 7.
Yeah, so the Crusaders going right back to their ground attack, Joe, on this drive. We'll see now if they need to air it out here. The Patriots with the 1 deep safety. That's not really even that deep.
Bit of a low snap. James immediately forced to roll out. He has to get rid of the football as he is thrown down to the turf.
Yeah.
That will set up a 4th down.
Yeah, he had to peel himself off that carpet pretty slowly there as he was sandwiched between 2 Patriots players. And on 4th and relatively long here, deep inside your own end of the field, decision time, down by 14 points. We'll see what the decision is here, but the Patriots are sending a deep man back. I believe that's Collins.
Tough to tell from this distance, but Dave, I think you're right.
Yep. Indeed, that's number 5.
And why wouldn't it be?
Right. And we said it many times in the fall season, you know, you might not want to kick to Collins. But let's see what they decide to do, as James will do the kicking as well.
And that one was very nearly blocked. And that's sent into the sideline. It lands in the Patriots bench.
Yeah, right in front of our camera crew, which consists of the one Louis Matrone. And the Patriots will have good starting field position here. You can see the official marching it to the 48-yard line on the plus side of the field. So great starting field here for the Patriots.
That was Javier Duran who applied the pressure to James on that punt. He came straight through the line. And given the trajectory of that ball, I thought perhaps he may have gotten a piece, but instead I think that the punter, James, may have been looking to avoid the block attempt by kicking it off to his left. And if so, that was a great heads-up move. Without much time to think about it, perhaps he just hit it off the side of his foot, and I'm overanalyzing, but there was immediate pressure on the Crusaders' punter. And now, as Dave said, in plus territory, the Patriots' offense will take over, already leading by 2 scores. And they have a chance to really give themselves a lot of breathing room with a score here. Crusaders defense hoping to come up with a big stop and give it to their offense at least one more time before we head to the halftime break. Looks like there may have been some miscommunication in the defensive backfield for the Crusaders ahead of this snap. Once again, a man in motion, and flags fly everywhere.
Right.
As that handoff goes for a short gain.
Almost looked like that play was doomed from the start, as there was a lot of miscommunication leading up to the snap, and we'll get the official call, or we'll see the official call at the very least.
Looks like the officials may discuss this one. We'll see. Still no official signal yet now. There's one flag that's at about 15-yard line. Right now, it's closer to us than to either huddle.
Looks like they're going to march this one back, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see.
That was some toss of the penalty flag in the defensive backfield. I mean, this official has to march all the way back to the 15.
Well, it is against the Crusaders. We kind of missed the signal.
A lot going on down there
Right.
pre-snap, and you could see the Crusaders trying to communicate the width of the field. Not an easy thing to do.
Should mention, Joe, that every IFA team is in action today. Earlier today, the Syracuse Smash played earlier. They played the TFL's New York Dolphins at 2 o'clock in Brooklyn, and then the other teams, IFA only, of course, there's this game. The Chargers face the Norsemen at 4 o'clock, so that game continuing to go on. And later tonight, the Warhawks are in Connecticut to face the Falcons.
Not much on that handoff as the tackle is made at about the 40.
Yeah, so it'd be second and long again, as looks like a loss of about, well, a gain, but from the original line of scrimmage, a loss of about 1. So about second and 11, I would say.
Yeah, trying to read where the tackle was made from this perspective, not easy.
No, definitely not. And I'm relying on our screen right now, Joe, because Louis Matrone is right there with the camera at the 50, so he gave us a good look at that one.
The Patriots break huddle. It will be second and about 11. They will snap from the 50, not the 40. Trip shotgun set. 3 receivers to the right of Jernigan. He looks to his left here, throws up the sideline, 2-on-1 coverage, and that pass is incomplete, nearly intercepted.
Yeah, what a nice job by the defensive back to get there first, making impact with the receiver as soon as that ball is there. Tavares was the intended target.
He had a chance, and he believes clearly that he should have caught it.
Yeah, I don't know. I disagree with him. Look at the impact as soon as that ball gets there. The defensive back is right there with him.
The first contact that football made was with the defender's helmet.
Yep.
That was good coverage. We don't have a number 19
Right.
on our roster for the Crusaders, but he made first contact with the helmet.
Yeah, and then the ball ricocheted around, almost was intercepted. 3rd and 11 now coming up.
That certainly was not a drop. 3rd and long. Jernigan looks to throw. He fires left. It's off the hands of his receiver and incomplete. And Dave, that makes back-to-back plays where the Crusaders had a chance to make something happen on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. That one, though, I wouldn't call that a drop, but that time Wright had an opportunity to extend and make that play. And Malik just couldn't come down with it. And because that ball was tipped in the air, then it became the tip drill, and a couple of players able to get their fingertips on it. That could have been disastrous for the Patriots. Instead, it'll be 4th and 11. And we'll get to see them on a big 4th down again here for both teams.
Like you said, Dave, certainly not a drop, certainly an opportunity. 4th down and 11. We thought the Patriots would punt. Instead, they have sent their offense back out onto the field, and we have another whistle.
Yeah, and perhaps the Patriots calling that timeout. I'm not sure, though, because my focus is squarely on the official. Let's see what the call is from him. but maybe a chance to see how the Crusaders were lining up. Gives them an opportunity to discuss this a little more. But no, it looks like we're getting set for live action here. So maybe that was an official whistle. But the Patriots coaches are on the field. They're upset a little bit. They want some clarification.
If they do go for it and don't get it, the Crusaders would get the ball, it looks like, at their own 49. And indeed, it looks like the Patriots will go on 4th down. Jernigan quickly took the snap. Looked like they tried to catch the Crusaders off guard there.
I think they caught their whole rest of their team off guard, too. They might send this one back 5 more yards.
Looking at what transpired following that snap, it looked like only one receiver was running a route, and that was Shannon James. Nobody else moved.
No. Let's see here where they line this one up. It looks like they're going to march
forward.
Yeah, so that was offsides against the defense. So look at that. Now it's 4th and 6. Field gets a little tighter, or at least the first down marker gets a little tighter for the Crusaders here.
Thankfully for us, the action moves in a bit closer.
Right.
4th and 6. The snap from the Crusaders' 44. Jernigan will look to throw. He fires left, and that pass is dropped.
Yeah, that was a straight drop that time by Tavares. That would have been enough for a first down. Perhaps Tavares feeling that he's going to get hit there coming across the middle. That was a play he should have had. And he knows it as well as he goes back to his sideline. But the Crusaders catch a little bit of a break, but they do get the stop that they need. They'll have the ball in good starting field position again here in the midway to late stages of the second quarter.
If there's one pass on that drive that warrants some push-ups, it was that one.
Right.
I don't think the first incompletion was any fault of Tavares. That second one hit him right in the chest. That was a good ball from Jernigan.
Yeah, and I'm certainly not going to argue play calling either, Joe, but it seems like the Patriots have gone so pass-heavy since their first drive where they had so much success running the football. So I know that as coaches, and obviously you want to see everything that you have, it's still very early in the season, and their passing game has been good. It's not that it's been bad, but you just wonder that. I think there was a pass on every play that drive, with the exception of one.
Offensive coordinator for the Patriots, Sean Kelman, another name we know from
the
IFA.
Oh, yeah. Know Sean very well, does a great job all the time.
First play of this drive for the Crusaders is a pass out of the backfield, and that's a nice gain as the back is upended.
Yeah, still, though, quick play, quick hitter, over to the right side. Nothing complicated about that play, but what it gives you is it gives you positive yards, and that was a gain of 9 on the play, so it'll be second and very short. And if you're the Crusaders, that's where you want to live, Joe, in my opinion. If you're going to put that ball up in the air, you want to get rid of that ball very quickly and let your halfbacks and wide receivers do the rest.
With the kind of pressure the Patriots are bringing out of the backfield, it could be make one man miss and make something happen, as that is kept by James. That was not the play design, but he had to step up through the pocket. He carries that one for a nice gain. And the Crusaders are moving now deeper into Patriots territory.
Yeah, so now 1st and 10 at the Patriots' 40-yard line, and they're working a little quickly here.
We could be approaching halftime. Spread shotgun set. James looks to pass. Immediate pressure. He throws left. That's completed into a tight window. Room to run for the wideout. And down to the turf goes Tyrese Smith.
Yeah.
Nice gain on that reception. Good moves with the football.
Very shifty in the middle of the field, and you could see the Crusaders looking to hurry up or at least accelerated in and out of the line of scrimmage here. But nice job up the field, maybe 5 or 6 yard pass, and Tyrese does the rest.
Get the ball out quick seems to be a recipe for success for this Crusaders offense. And this time they will hand it off up the middle. Good cutback on that run. And the tackle is finally made by the Patriots, as the Crusaders may be on the doorstep of the red zone here.
Yeah, I think they're just inside it, Jaws. Good, heavy running as we have a whistle here, and I'm wondering if that's the 2-minute warning, Joe.
I think you may be right.
No, timeout, I think Patriots. I just saw a motion for a timeout on the Patriots side.
And I like that timeout, as the Crusaders, for the first time in this first half, have really begun to find their rhythm offensively. And that was a great run. Unfortunately, we can't give credit where it's due. No number 7 on our roster No number 2 either, who caught a pass out of the backfield earlier in this drive. But there you see that last carry, and it all got started with that cutback at the line of scrimmage. Good blocking by the Crusaders offensive line. Good carry by the back.
Yeah, and I love that call too, because you throw right, you throw left, your quarterback keeps one, quick hits, and then boom, you use the underneath delayed handoff. You got everybody rushing in at the quarterback. They over pursue, and that leaves the halfback with some room. And then he lowers the shoulder and gets some hard yards towards the end of that. And the Crusaders are in business here inside the red zone. And, you know, Coach Will and his group want to get some points here right before the half. That would be a huge lift going into the locker room here, as we believe we're closing in on the 2-minute warning.
The Crusaders offense has really begun to move the football well here on this drive. It's the best they have looked throughout this entire first half, and they've looked really good on this possession. The big question remains, can they turn that into points as they close in on the red zone? First down, it's a run. The back pinballing off tackles up the middle. The pile is pushed forward, and we may have had a loose football.
Yeah, somebody came down with it.
And we do. It will be Patriots football as the ball was dislodged in the midst of that pile. On the recovery, George Dawson involved once again. He comes away with the football. He is fired up, and he will be greeted by some excited Patriots from his sideline.
Yeah, we're going to see him here, I believe, and we'll try to follow him on the play. Just never gives up on it, and ball comes loose, and I don't even know how that ball came out of there, Joe. We didn't really get a good look at how it was stripped, but somehow, some way, I mean, and again, the running back on the play, trying to get those hard yards, trying to get those extra yards, but the Patriots don't give up on the play. They get the strip, and they get the ball back.
That's some coordination by Dawson to grab that one on the fly. It didn't look like he stripped it. At some point during that pile being pushed forward, the ball popped out, and it looked like he was able to grab it on the fly. That will set up the Patriots with a first down and 10. As we believe we are closing in on the end of the first half.
Yeah, they're pretty deep inside their own territory. I think this is their worst starting field of the day, but still they'll take it. And if you're the Crusaders on the sideline, your offensive unit, you're thinking to yourself, man, how do we get this ball in the end zone?
Their defense came up big last drive with a couple of pass breakups. They will look to send the Crusaders into the half within 2 scores. As there we have a run on first down. That was Montgomery, and that was a nice gain.
Yeah, nice job by Montgomery. Once again, right through the teeth of the defense, and this is where we saw the Patriots have some success, especially on their opening drive, running straight through the heart of the defense.
Opening drive, or I should say an opening play, a run on this drive. We saw a pair of big runs on the opening drive for this Patriots offense, but as Dave mentioned, very pass-heavy since. Jernigan in the shotgun sends a man in motion. Jernigan will throw left, and he and his intended receiver not on the same page there. Wright was the intended target.
Yeah, and Wright might have gotten behind the defensive back who tried to over-pursue for the would-be interception, but that one sailed high, and perhaps that's the reason why Jernigan put it so high. So we'll have a third down and short here, but this is still a big play because the clock is stopped with that pass incompletion. And if the Crusaders can get a big stop here, maybe even a loss on the play, they're going to get the ball back via a punt, probably in Patriots territory. So pretty big play, all things considered.
Third down and short. This is a big play for this Crusaders defense. Perhaps a chance to get one more possession before the half.
Ooh, movement up front by the Patriots for sure.
That's a big penalty against the Patriots that will move this one back 5.
Yeah, that might have been Hunter who got off to an early start, so that'll back them up to make it a 3rd and 6. And we might have another timeout here by the Patriots. I believe it was on the Patriots. They ran straight for their sideline after that whistle, so recognizing it's a big play for them too, Joe.
A big play in more than one way. Of course, you want to prevent giving the Crusaders another chance with the football. But this is a 3rd and 6, a very manageable down and distance. And perhaps if the Patriots can pick up this first down, they can keep this drive alive and turn it into points. At the very least, they'd like to bring this to the half without giving the football back to the Crusaders.
Right. Because, again, the Crusaders were having success running the football and mixing it up via the pass. They were breaking some tackles offensively. And, you know, that's just been the Crusaders' start so far. We saw it during the preseason. We saw it. We know that they got shut out in their one preseason game against another team. And, you know, it's just been they do a lot of little things correctly, Joe, but can they score points? And they've had problems kind of capping these drives. And there we've had a couple of examples today as well. But they'd certainly love to get the ball back here, understanding that they've had success during this game here offensively in this first half.
So 3rd down and 6. Patriots hoping to continue building upon that offensive success here in this first half. The Crusaders hoping for one more shot at points before halftime. Spread shotgun set. Jernigan takes the snap. He looks left. Under pressure. Avoids one tackle but cannot avoid another as the second wave of defenders for the Crusaders takes down Jernigan at the line of scrimmage. But we do have a flag in the offensive backfield, and the Crusaders don't look happy.
They don't. I mean, somebody did get in there late. It looked like an offsides is the original call, but no one seems to be moving in either direction. Well, the Patriots are lining up to punt here, Joe.
It looks like the Patriots have moved back because the action appears to be a bit further away from me. Officially, it appears as if the down and distance has not changed. Maybe that penalty was against the Patriots and declined by the Crusaders.
I think it was just the play stood, Joe. I don't think there was anything, and that's a shanked punt, too. So this is going to give the Crusaders the ball in great field position. Now, again, we don't know how much time is left here in the half. There must not be much. And by our count, the Crusaders do have 2 timeouts remaining, but they're going to be in business here, Joe. They got the ball in great field position.
And I spoke about it before. The Crusaders potentially one play away from getting right back in this game. And who would have thought that play could be a punt that was effectively shanked out of bounds for a net gain of maybe nothing.
Well, it looks like the ball is just inside the 30. So maybe like the 28-yard line in that range. Looks like the 27. But still, though, the Crusaders are really one sizable pass away from potentially having this lead, maybe more. But we'll see if they have that in their artillery here, or a throw down the field.
Big question is, how much time is left before the half?
Right, and are we correct with the timeout situation? We believe we are, but you just never know.
Once again, spread shotgun set for the Crusaders offense. Man in motion. Handoff is faked and kept by James. He has a big hole, and he's taken down for a nice gain. That rush good for a first down.
Yeah, it looks like just beyond the 10-yard line, so it's going to be a 1st and 10 from just outside the 10, maybe the 13-yard line, 14-yard line. So they can get a first down without scoring a touchdown here.
Crusaders will hurry. Right back in the shotgun. As Dave mentioned, they can get a first down on this drive, and this play is bottled up. James lifted up into the air. And
yikes.
He's held up in the pile as the football came out at the end there, but
yeah, Figueroa came down with it. He thought he had another fumble there, but I believe we're going to see another timeout taken here.
Whistles down on the field.
Yep, and either I didn't see the motion for the 2-minute warning yet, although that could have happened already. We just don't know.
I have a feeling that we passed the 2-minute warning already.
Yep, but
I don't see any way we haven't.
Unless this is it, Joe. I'm not sure, because that doesn't feel like a timeout was called, and yet a lot of time, and a lot of teams basically took their times getting back into the huddle, so we just don't know.
There was a stoppage of some kind, whether a timeout or a 2-minute warning. Looked like we had early movement on that snap. James in trouble, and he is taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that was going to be the question that we came into this drive with, is can they throw the ball down the field? And that's the one area where the Crusaders, James just hasn't had the time to kind of lift his eyes, survey what's going on down there, buy himself some time, and throw it down the heart of the field. It's been everything on the outsides of the hash marks or the quick slants that have really worked so far for the Crusaders. But the down and distance might not help that situation here.
Another throw coming here for the end zone. And that pass is incomplete. What an opportunity there for Page.
Yeah, in and out of the hands of Page, but the defensive backs did a great job of really sandwiching him and getting in and interrupting that would-be completion. We'll get another quick look at it here.
That one would have gone for 6. And you can see that James has a favorite target. And right now, that's Dominic Page. They failed to connect on that last pass as we prepare for another snap out of the shotgun. 4 receivers wide. James immediately forced to step up through the pocket. He looks down the field and takes off, headed toward the sideline, and he is tackled inbounds.
Inbounds inside the 10, short of the first down. So we're looking at a 3rd and about 5, I would assume. And definitely are going to have some type of a stoppage here, whether it's a timeout for the Crusaders.
It would have to be a timeout called by the Crusaders by our count, though it looks like the teams might be sending their offense and defenses respectively back out onto the field. So hold on a second.
That was very tough. I mean, it's a first down for the Patriots, and we apologize. I mean, again, we had the down and distance as what it was, but apparently, Joe, that was a 4th down, and the Crusaders lost it on downs inside the 10.
Turnover on downs, Crusaders, and it will be Patriots football, as wouldn't you know it, all of the action in this first half has taken place about 75-plus yards away from us, as we call the action from the opposite end zone. This is about as far as it gets.
Right.
At least 100 yards between us and the action right now. Of course, you have to account for the end zone in front of us, plus the space in the bleachers.
And also, we don't know, some of the penalties, if they're accepted or not, if there's a loss of down on the play. We just didn't get that information here.
Jernigan throws. That pass is complete. And the Crusaders are there to make the tackle. That's close to a first down.
Yeah, I think it will be a first down, about the 20-yard line, gain of about 12, 13 yards on the play. And judging by the way the Patriots are carrying themselves and getting people in and out, maybe they're vying for something late here in the first half.
That was Juan Colon on the reception. That does go for a first down. Patriots taking their time here. As Jernigan will look to throw again, he fires over the middle. That pass complete to Montgomery, and he's tackled immediately.
Yeah, that was wide open. Now we have whistles everywhere, and there will be a timeout on the field.
That would have to be called by the Patriots if a timeout was called.
Either that or maybe that was the 2-minute warning. We just really don't know anymore. And I'm trying to focus on the head official, but really haven't gotten a signal. We would believe that's a timeout, and the final timeout used by the Patriots.
I think the best way to call it is timeout on the field.
Right, timeout on the field.
Timeout on the field.
We'll go with that for sure. And it was a good play. The look off by Jernigan off to the right flat, kind of looked off his halfback and caught the defensive backfield looking in the same way, and that's what sprung the wide out right up the middle of the field for the easy first down. And perhaps if that's caught more in stride, perhaps he's off to the races and the Crusaders give up an even bigger play. But first down and 10 at the 35-yard line here. The Patriots looking to get another couple of big chunk plays before the end of the first half.
2 plays, 2 first downs for this Patriots offense on this drive. They lead it by 14 in search of another score before halftime. Jernigan will look to throw. He fakes a short throw right. Fires over the middle of the field, and that is off of the intended target, Juan Colon.
Yeah, Colon had that bounce right off of his shoulder pads. As another would-be big play that just cannot be made by the Patriots. We've seen a couple of those drops here in this first half as well. So the Patriots, by all accounts, comfortable in this one, up by a couple of touchdowns, but they go into the locker room thinking what could have been as well, if not for some of these drop passes.
No question about that. This could very easily be a 3-score game. It could very easily be a 1-score game. A lot to look forward to in the second half. But if you're the Crusaders here, they need to make sure they keep the Patriots off of the scoreboard on this final drive before the intermission. Another throw coming for the Patriots. Jernigan winds up, fires deep down the field into heavy coverage, and the interception is dropped. Nearly a completed pass off of that dropped INT. Tavares once again in the area.
And that was really dangerous on both sides. Looked like the Crusaders might take that one back and have an easy pick. Instead, unable to come down with it, and then Tavares with an opportunity to kind of, with the tip drill, bring that one in and set up shop deep in Crusaders territory. We'll get another look at it here on your screen in just a moment. But as a result of this play, it'll be a 3rd and 10. Let's take another look at it.
We've seen several deep shots in this game. None of those have been completed yet. And that's probably the 3rd time the Crusaders had a chance for an interception. That one, the best opportunity of the 3.
Yeah, and looked like 2 Crusaders defenders were there at the same time, and maybe that was the reason why they couldn't come down with it.
Screen pass short left, blocking in front of the receiver, and the tackle is made by the Crusaders. That is close to a first down.
Yeah, we have an injured Crusader on the play, so the clock will stop. Looked like Collins made that play, and we know how deadly he can be with the ball in open space. I think that might be the half, Joe.
Could be.
I saw the official take the ball in his hand and raise it up, but we'll see here.
I think you're right, Dave, because that kind of play call, definitely one that you typically see at the end of a half. Try and make something happen on a screen, and it is indeed halftime. So with that, we head to the intermission with the New York Patriots leading the New York Crusaders by a score of 14-0. This is coverage of the Independent Football Association on the PDF Sports Network. When we come back, the Patriots will be receiving the second half kickoff.
Once again, we are back here at New Utrecht High School in Brooklyn, New York. Halftime between the New York Crusaders and the New York Patriots. The Patriots with a 14-0 lead. I am David Pizzuto, being joined in the broadcast booth by the co-owner of the New York Patriots and the co-owner of the IFA. It is none other than David Patterson. David, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Long time no see.
Absolutely, absolutely. We were just mentioning how some familiar faces from the fall working their way back here for some spring ball. There's a lot of different leagues in action, but you're a part of the IFA. Of course, one of the originators of the league. And tell us a little bit about the build-up coming in. I know there were some teams that maybe had to fold on the doorsteps of the season, but able to fill things out nicely with a merger with the TFL. Tell us a little bit about how that enterprise came to be.
Thank you so much. So the New York Patriots, I know you guys know me from the Harlem Gators and things that I've been doing with them. The Patriots are a lot different. The Patriots originated as a TFL team, ironically. I was running 2 programs at the time. The Bronx Colts were dominating the TFL. We were looking for another situation with them, so we created the Patriots to fill that void, helping out the TFL to make sure that they had a group of teams to play for that particular season. That was 8 years ago. So the next year, since the TFL was on its feet and stable, we took the Patriots show on the road, so to speak. And since then, we were playing basically travel football. So we've played everywhere from Maine all the way down to Virginia. We played in Canada a couple times. So the program itself is just about giving guys a new experience, playing against teams that they ordinarily wouldn't see. So you get the good rivalries like with Gator football where you see those perennial rivals and such. The Patriots are more about branching out and getting the product out to other people.
Absolutely. And, that's one of the remarks that we made during the pregame show is really the footprint that the IFA has. It's kind of second to none in this area where you have teams from New England, of course, Maine, Boston, Connecticut, obviously, coming to play some Metro teams as well. And it must be exciting for a lot of the players on some of the Metro teams who don't get a chance to see a lot of these players from upstate to kind of renew some rivalries or make new rivalries. How did that affect this league and make it such a unique place to play?
Well, the first thing it did is it attracted the players that ultimately were more interested in the experience than they were the X's and O's part of it or what have you. So we started out and played with a younger group that didn't have bills to pay and didn't have jobs that they had to worry about. They could take a weekend and just get on the bus and head somewhere or what have you. So it just caught on and basically caught like wildfire, where some of the veterans and some of the star players from the region started catching on and saying, hey, Patriot football, this looks pretty interesting. So linked in with a few teams from up north. My friend Mason Morgan, my team played his team on an independent schedule for 2 years, and then we ended up just filling in the blanks with all the teams that we had a great experience with and said, hey, look, even though we are this distance away from each other, we play each other once a year, we could kind of shorten up the schedule, have some fun and get it together. So you have teams in Syracuse, New York, Maine, all the way down through to Brooklyn. So it's more, again, of the organizations. You're going to see more solid organizations in the IFA than you see in many other places. So you're going to see it in the stadium. You hear a band in the background. Right. It's more about the experience altogether.
Excellent. And I want to talk a little bit about this matchup right here. When we signed on to cover the New York Crusaders this season, this was the game that they really highlighted for us. They said, you got to come and cover the game against the Patriots. They're our rivals. It's a Subway Series of sorts. And, what do you make of this rivalry through the years, and obviously the renewed rivalry here in the IFA and the pomp and circumstance that goes into this game that maybe doesn't go into some others?
And Taiwan Anthony, the owner of the Crusaders, puts a lot into his product. He is a passionate guy when it comes to getting his product out there. The things that he does, not only on the field but off the field in the community, in terms of jobs, education, is something that I support 100%. We try to do something similar with the Patriots as well, which is how we ended up just naturally coming together. So we actually started playing when we were both in the TFL 8 years ago. So right now I think we're up in the series by 1, but it swings back and forth, and they had our number for a number of years. Our guys had to kind of grow into it, and those guys scored a couple of miracle wins. Man, when you go back in the record books, but they stole a couple victories from us, so we're just trying to get it back now.
So on a day like this, Coach, I know you're wearing your New York Patriots gear, but how do you kind of toe that line between being a league owner and making sure that the league is, of course, being represented the right way, and, of course, that the league is being handled, and then having to be on your own sideline and handling the Patriots as far as, how do you personally juggle the two on a day like this?
That's a great question. It starts with it being a family atmosphere, and I think you just saw a player walk by with a kid in there. It's about the atmosphere. If you surround yourself with good character people, and it starts with the owners of teams. So I don't have to sit there and micromanage team owners because their owners are the same mentality as me. So they're not going to do some of the raggedy stuff that would cause a commissioner and owner of a league to get phone calls on game day. So I know that, like, for example, this evening we have a heck of a game. I kind of want to get up there real quick to see the Falcons in the rematch against the Seacoast Warhawks.
That's right, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's going to be something. Yeah, it's a heck of a game. So like you mentioned before, merger between the TFL and IFA. Well, it's not a merger. We still have our season and our playoffs and champion, and they have theirs. But again, because we have worked with each other so well over the years. In fact, the commissioner of the TFL is a coach on the Patriots. Whatever the TFL needs, I absolutely will step up and help them out because it's the brotherhood of the thing that that transcends it. We've been friends for over almost 2 decades now.
Yeah, that's one thing that we keep seeing over and over, and those storylines play out. Coach, last question for me is, as far as the Patriots themselves, what is your outlook going into the season? I know every team wants a piece of that trophy, a chance at that championship. Where do you think your team stands in that mosaic?
Well, last year was a very tough year for us. We were actually playing 2 seasons at once. We were playing a television series, a reality television series, which hopefully will air sometime soon, and then we played our IFA season. So we ended up playing, I'd say, one of the toughest schedules that you'll see in this region. We ended up with the Brooklyn Seminoles twice. We ended up playing the East Coast Cardinals. We ended up playing the City Sharks, the New Jersey Sharks, Sussex Stags, a lot of quality teams. So we had to grow up very, very fast. So last year we kind of took our lumps or what have you. So what we have left today, you'll see a smaller team in terms of numbers. We usually carry 65. Right now, since we're only doing 1 season, thank God, we're down to about 45. So we're dressing on game day 35 to 40 guys. And what you're going to see is that those guys are more game ready. We have some of the best coaches in semi-pro football that are getting these guys ready. So we actually had addition by subtraction. So some of the guys that were just on the sideline, that were just mulling over this and that, they're no longer with us. So we're getting back to building the way that we know how.
All right, so you see the score on your screen, the halftime score, 14-0. Mr. David Patterson, nice enough to join us here on halftime. David, thank you for everything.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. So that'll do it here for us at the half. We'll throw it back down and break, and when we come back, we'll get you ready for the second half right here live from New Utrecht High School. It's 14-0 Patriots over the Crusaders. Stay with us.
And we are back from New Utrecht High School in Brooklyn. Second half about to kick off between the Patriots and the Crusaders. In half number 1, all 14 points belong to the Patriots. But the Crusaders did have their opportunities, both on defense and on offense.
Yeah, you know what, Joe? They had their opportunities, just like you said. It's just that can they close the loop? You know what I mean? Can they finish the sentence? Can they punctuate their drives? And that's really the thing that's been missing. But I like the way they've been running the football. I even like the way that they've mixed in the pass and the play calling, keeping the Patriots as off-balanced as possible. They just haven't been able to get in the end zone, and they're going to have to do it not once, but twice, while keeping the Patriots off the scoreboard as well.
Well, Dave, I know you're a wrestling fan. You set me up perfectly for it. Like Cody Rhodes, can they finish the story? The Crusaders need to finish a drive. Defensively, they had a couple of chances for an INT. Could not come away with those picks. And we will see what they can do defensively to start this second half, as they will kick it away to the Patriots, who kicked to open up the game. The Crusaders had a nice first drive, a big completion on 3rd and long, another first down completion, and then with a chance to score on a potential touchdown pass. The ball was overthrown just a bit by Michael James, who was trying to connect with Dominic Page. Their next best chance came very late in that first half, after they took over deep inside Patriots territory. But on a play that we were not aware was a 4th down, the quarterback was forced to run. James sent rolling to his right, tried to cut it upfield, got close but could not pick up the first down. That gave the ball back to the Patriots. They had a nice drive to end the half, but did not get it deep into Crusaders territory as time ran out on them. And that brought us to halftime, and now the start of the third quarter, as that kickoff is sent straight out of bounds into the Crusaders bench. That will draw a flag, and the Patriots will start at the 40.
Yeah, and you wonder if that wasn't intentional there, Joe, because rather than kick off to these dangerous returners that the Patriots have, they just concede the ball at the 40-yard line and let the Patriots go their 60 yards if they can. Crusaders defensively have also been pretty good. I mean, we see the score, 14-0, but really it was a big 4th down and goal situation where the Patriots were able to cash in on their first score. They ended up fumbling the 2-point conversion away. And then it was really a break at the line of scrimmage by Davin Collins on a screen pass where they actually forced a fumble, and Collins was able to pick it up himself and run it the rest of the way, about 55, 60 yards for the score. But other than that, the Crusaders have been pretty good defensively. A lot of bend, but no breakage.
We've seen Davin Collins score on defense in the past, on special teams, on offense, and now off of his own fumble.
Right.
Not many players who in their careers can say they scored in all 4 of those ways. Davin Collins has done it in the last 12 months.
Yep, he's becoming a PDF Sports Network superstar here, doing it all sorts of ways. And here we go, Patriots to start the second.
Jernigan hands off on the play. Montgomery looks to take it toward the sideline, and he's knocked out of bounds and into the Crusaders bench.
Yeah, just short of the first down it looked like, but good job once again to bounce that to the outside. We've seen that happen on both sides of the line of scrimmage today, where running backs have been able to kind of look a gap and then boom, pop it right out for a big gain. So second down at about 2.
Second and short from just about midfield. After this drive started at the 40, we speculated the Crusaders may have sent that kickoff out of bounds intentionally. We've seen a lot of good things happen for the return team on kicks between today's game and the scrimmage. Some bad things. As we have a handoff up the middle, big hit in the hole. And that draws some oohs and ahs from the spectators and from the 2 benches. I believe that was Jeffrey Davis again in on that hit.
Yeah, but it was enough to move the chains as the Patriots, much like they opened up the first drive of the first half, or their first drive anyway, right down the heart of the Crusaders' defense with the run game, and that's kind of what opened things up for their passing game as well. They're getting back to basics here.
First down, Patriots. Spread shotgun set. This time it's Ramsey in the backfield alongside Jernigan. Jernigan will send Ramsey to his left, and he takes the snap, looks right, throws, and that is knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, looking in the flat in the direction of Collins again, who was out there on the far side, but that was swatted at the line of scrimmage. Good job by the Crusaders on what was the first passing attempt of this half by the Patriots.
Believe that was 0 on the SWAT, no 0 on our roster. We do apologize for that, as we got a roster about an hour before kickoff, but a lot of players missing, and we had some number changes last minute. As the Patriots look to throw, Jernigan fires short. And that's a big tackle there. Prevent a bigger gain on that play.
Yeah, that was a beautiful open field tackle that time by the Crusaders. That one could have went down the sidelines. If that tackle gets missed, then he could still be running. Instead, there's no gain, 2nd and 10. And you mentioned the jersey numbers, Joe. The Crusaders are debuting these kind of stone gray uniforms. Actually, it's 3rd and 10. Sorry, after that first down was incomplete. But that's the reason why our rosters have been kind of out of whack here for the Crusaders. But hopefully in the weeks that come, that'll be rectified here by the Crusaders and for their home audience.
We have a number 5 and a 0-5. We called number 5 Tyrese Smith on the offensive side. Not sure who's wearing 0-5 as Jernigan completes once again. And that is close to a first down. I think they have it, and they will move the chains.
Yeah, they needed 10. They got 11 on that play. On the quick slant once again, 3 yards and slanting towards the middle of the field by Shannon James, another very familiar name that we've called.
We'll get another look at that last play in just a moment. Live action about to pick up as well, but you're not missing anything here as you get a look at that last completion. That may not have been James. That might have been my error. I pointed out James on the roster. I'm not sure that was him, as this is indeed Jernigan running toward the sideline. He's out of bounds inside the red zone.
Yeah, I think that was now a flag late too, Joe, so it'll be half the distance from wherever that spot is. But that time I thought that was a designed run from the start for Jernigan, kind of the fake in the backfield really quick on the underneath give. We'll get another look at it here.
Great blocking on that run as well by the Patriots, who are marching straight down the field. First time either team has been down at this end of the field in quite some time.
Yeah, that was the first play, and now Right back. There's the pump, and Jernigan took off. So I don't think that was a designed run after all, but great job by Jernigan. He looked to his right first, and then when he looked to his left, he saw there was nobody home for the Crusaders. Took it the rest of the way. First and goal.
First down, Patriots at the 8. Jernigan looks to run up the middle, and he slides down. That's a short gain of about 1 or 2 yards.
Yeah, still recognizing there's nothing going on there. Unwilling to concede yards on the play. That's a good job by Jernigan.
That will set up a second down and about 8.
Yeah,
Though I believe this would have to be second and goal.
Yes, second and goal for sure. The first down took place inside the 10.
Not by much, but second and goal now for the Patriots offense and a chance to make this a 3-score game.
Patriots electing to lengthen the field here with 4 wide receivers spread across.
They've done a lot of that today as Jernigan will look left, he will throw left, and that's a short completion to James.
Yeah, and for James, that pass was a little bit behind him, so he had to kind of double back and go get it, which forced him to go down on his knees, and then he was pretty much dead to rights on the play. So if anything, a short loss on the play, but third and goal from the 6. It's eerily similar to when the Patriots scored their opening touchdown of the game, where they were effectively stood up for the first 3 downs and then were able to converge and score a touchdown on a play where Jernigan scampered outside the pocket on a bootleg. Let's see if they do that here.
Third and goal from the 6. Once again, 4 receivers wide, shotgun set. Early movement by the Crusaders and a big tackle in the backfield. That play may have been blown dead. A flag is in on the far side of the field.
Well, there was movement on both sides. We'll see who they call it against. Now, if it's against the Patriots, you might want to think about declining this penalty. But no, it will be half the distance. So it'll be third and goal from the 3. What a great open field tackle by 00 on that one. Negated, of course, by the penalty. But third and goal from essentially where the 2-point conversion occurs.
I'm curious to know if Jernigan had broke free and scored, would that touchdown have stood?
Good
Here,
question.
Jernigan will hand off, and this time Ramsey is brought down in the backfield.
That's a loss of almost 7 on the play. It'll bring them back to the 10. So now, where do the Patriots go in their bag of tricks on fourth and goal from the just outside the 10-yard line?
Looks like it was Davin Collins who got the play call from the sideline. He relays that to Jernigan, who will now share it with the huddle. And we ask this question very often on semi-pro broadcasts. Does a given team have a kicker? And if there was ever a situation where we get an answer to that, it's here. And it appears the answer is no. And I say that because a kick would obviously make it a 3-score game.
Correct. Yep.
And if you have that option, you'd probably go to it. It does not appear the Patriots have a kicker. And taking a look toward the sky, it looks like inclement weather could be well on its way in the very near future. And that could certainly play a role in the ability of the offenses to score late. Jernigan throws end zone. It's knocked up in the air, and it is caught for a touchdown. Chris Pierre in the back of the end zone off of the pass deflection to put the Patriots up by 20.
Wow. And, Joe, we've seen 3 or 4 of those types of tips and those batted balls that ricochet off of different players, and that's the first time someone's been able to come down with it. And how about Chris Pierre? Right place at the right time. That was just an easy catch for him. Able to stay in bounds on the back of the end zone. And for the second time in this game, the Patriots have scored on a fourth and goal situation. And there you see it. Tip drill 101, and Pierre wins it.
That's a tough break for the Crusaders and a great play in the back of the end zone by the Patriots wideout Chris Pierre to bring in that pass for a touchdown. The Crusaders have had their chances defensively. They've been in the area on numerous pass attempts, and there's another one as that is swatted away. Conversion unsuccessful.
Still, though, a successful Patriots start to this second half, exactly the way you want to start it when you get the ball first. Remember back in the late stages of that second quarter, the Crusaders on a first and goal attempt inside the 10 could not punch things in. They end up losing drives and losing the football on that drive. The Patriots able to kill the rest of the first half, and then they get the ball first here to start the second half, and then boom, they go down the field 60 yards and open up a 20-0 lead.
Well, I see lightning in the distance. It's getting closer, and the Crusaders, with a big sense of urgency on offense here right now, they need to score, and they need to score quickly. They will receive the kickoff trailing 20-0 here in the third quarter, still very early in quarter number 3. Certainly an opportunity for the Crusaders to get back in this game, and we saw the best of their offense late in that first half on that one drive where they were going no huddle. They were getting the ball out quickly from the hand of Michael James at quarterback. He was completing short passes, but his playmakers in the backfield and at wide receiver were making defenders miss, and they moved the ball quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, again, it's good players do big things in big moments, and when the Patriots have needed some big plays, they've gotten them, and those 2 fourth downs, the touchdown scored on those fourth downs, those are huge plays. And, you know, the Crusaders will come out of this one, win or lose, and say, you know, if we just make 1 or 2 stops, and, you know, even that penalty, Joe, where they were, you know, it's half the distance, made it 3rd and goal from the 3 instead of what would have been a 4th and goal at the 10. You know, that's those are tough plays, and they kill momentum.
I think a bit changes given that it was a 4th and goal from about the 10. But were it not for that big loss on the run, there's no room for that ball to be tipped and then caught.
Right.
As we have a nice return here for the Crusaders out to about midfield.
Yeah, nice job to stay with that one.
And we believe that is Tyrese Smith wearing number 5, but once again there is a 0, 5, and a 5 on the roster. And we look like we may have a stoppage here for a player down on the field, but here's another look at that return.
Yeah, Smith bounced into one of his own players at first, lost a little bit of momentum that way, but still able to get a good return just outside his own 50, so they'll still have good field position here, and this is something the Crusaders cannot complain about. They've gotten the ball in good field position throughout the entire evening.
This is exactly what they needed in this spot. Trailing by 3 scores early in the third. I think it's fair to say the Crusaders have to have a score on this drive. They get a big return on the ensuing kickoff, and that gives them an opportunity to put some points on the board. And they need them in a big way now, trailing by 3 scores. This Patriots defense has been good, especially at getting pressure on the quarterback in this game. We've seen it on design quarterback runs and on passing plays. The Patriots defensive line has gotten into the backfield quickly.
Yeah, and of course, time is your enemy now as well. There was a fumble.
Fumbled and then recovered by the back on that play. That was awfully dangerous. No number 7 on our roster. But that ball was handed off. It looked like there was a hole. That hole closed quickly.
Yeah, and it looked again like the Crusaders running back ran into one of his own players as that hole really closed up quickly, and that forced the ball to come out. And that is the second or third time that we've had a negative play on first down. You could see it. Good job to get that ball back at the very least.
Throw coming up here on this down. It's a throw over the middle, and it's skipped short and incomplete.
Yeah, I'd love to have that one back. I'm sure if you're the quarterback, the receiver was there, it seemed. But that ball thrown low. So it'll be a 3rd down and long here, about 3rd and 15. And this has not been the Crusaders' forte.
No, it has not. Though we did have that one big play early in the game. 3rd and long, huge completion. That was a 3rd and 21. Right. This is a 3rd and 15. James takes the snap and hands off. Not much running room and a big collision. Good tackle there by Davin Collins. Not much gain on that play.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to turn the corner against Collins. We've seen him make those plays routinely on our 4th and very long here. We think we might see a punt coming up for the Crusaders. Ball spotted at just outside their 40.
Well, you won't see it on your screen, but darkness beginning to envelop New Utrecht High School as the Crusaders will send this kick away. If rain does come, we are equipped to broadcast through the rain. The big question is how well equipped are these offenses to move the football in heavy rain? And if there is lightning, the game will likely be stopped. So we'll see what comes of that.
And if the Lightning does stop the game, then we will obviously stop our broadcast and bring it back when we resume play.
That ball skips in the air and off the bounce. Collins has it. He breaks a tackle and takes off toward the sideline. He has blocking in front of him. He cuts it in toward the center of the field, makes another man miss, and Collins is gone. He is into the end zone for a Patriots touchdown.
Are you kidding me? What a play by Davin Collins. Again, it looked like he was bottled up. I thought he might have even fumbled the ball a little bit as he was picking it up. But my goodness, what a play by Collins. Yeah, I thought he was down right there, but if you're not on top of him and giving him a 3 count, to use one of your wrestling terms, Joe, he is going to pop up. And man, what a play by Collins. His second touchdown of the game, and it's now 26-0 in favor of the Patriots.
Here on PDF Sports Network, we have to acknowledge Davin Collins. Kick return, punt return, pick 6, rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown. Now, does that scoop and score off his own fumble count as a receiving touchdown?
Yeah, I would think so.
I think it does.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think it does because he made the reception, but how unusual to see that all in 12 months. Kickoff, punt, receiving, rushing.
Just amazing. Just amazing. And that's why a lot of these players have the word athlete next to their name as far as their position is concerned, because they could do it all, and they could do it in a multitude of different positions and ways, and they beat you in so many different ways. And, you know, we say it all the time, Joe, especially at this level of football, that special teams is such a huge part of these games. And I don't know if we've covered a single game this season where we haven't had a special team score in a game, or at the very least a special teams play that has set up an imminent score. I think we've seen it in every single game that we've covered, and add this one to that list.
We've seen plays to the positive and to the negative. A lot of times you may have a turnover on special teams. We've seen on more than one occasion a return man touch the football only to have the kicking team recover. Of course, we've seen return touchdowns. We've seen several of those already. We've seen big returns, as you mentioned, to set up potential scores. Special teams always seems to factor in these semi-pro games, and it has once again here in this game. And now the Crusaders trail by 4 scores. And we're still fairly early in this third quarter. Not many plays run between the two teams.
No, not at all. Although the clock has been pretty much moving when the teams have had it. We've seen this a couple of incomplete passes, but for the most part, there's been a lot of running here in this quarter. The game is scheduled until 8 p.m., but of course, with bad weather, we don't know what will happen.
I think our latest forecast that we received up here in the booth called for rain at about 7:45. If the two teams move at a steady pace on offense and keep the ball on the ground, or keep the ball from hitting the ground with incomplete passes, then I would think we're in position to finish right around that time.
Yeah, especially with the score being the way it is. I mean, obviously, we're not going to shave anything off here, I don't believe, but we have been known to have these things roll pretty quickly once the score has been lopsided like this.
I think that depends on the officiating crew, as the Crusaders will return this one to about midfield, and for a moment there, I thought the football was about to come loose.
Yeah, but it ends up another good starting field position for the Crusaders. In fact, they'll be on the plus side of the 50 this time. And, you know, the score is 26-0 for a reason, but, you know, the score is not truly indicative of the gameplay. I mean, the Crusaders have done some pretty good things offensively. They just haven't been able to finish drives with much success. And really defensively or for the Patriots offensively, it's just been the big plays, the capstones to their drives, if you will, those 2 fourth down and goals where they scored the touchdown, and, of course, the big offensive play, punt return for a touchdown, and next thing you know, you have a lopsided score. But the play has been pretty good both ways.
Well, if you take a look at the scoring plays in this game, a 4th and goal passing touchdown, a screen pass that was fumbled and then recovered for a touchdown, a 4th and goal deflected pass into a touchdown, and a punt return.
Yeah. And you could say, the Crusaders can say, we've been kind of snake-bitten in this game. The breaks just haven't gone our way. But the Patriots have made some of their own luck, too.
No question about that. That was Eric Johnson on that carry up the middle. He fought forward for a gain of a few.
The Crusaders looking to work quickly now. They're not getting in their huddle anymore. Obviously, they know what the urgency is. 1.25 left to go, and down by 4 scores at least.
We have a change at quarterback as well.
Right.
Don't have an 11 on our roster, but that is the new quarterback for the Crusaders. And he will keep here. And the Patriots were all over that play. Yeah. Loss of a yard.
Good tackle. Good tackle that time by Carpin. The Crusaders want to hurt you with some misdirection at the line of scrimmage as well. We've seen that read option a couple of times. We've seen the counter a couple of times, the quarterback counter as well. But give the Patriots credit. They've stayed home on a lot of these plays. They've stayed very disciplined, and they've been making the tackles that they need to.
Another chance for a stop on 3rd down for this Patriots defense. Crusaders looking to score for the first time in their 2023 season as we have whistles down on the field. And it looks like...
End of the 3rd? No.
Don't want to jump the gun here, but...
No, I think
they're switching sides.
Are they? Yes, they are.
End of the 3rd.
End of the 3rd. So we are going to the final quarter of play.
Looks like it was a running clock. Had to be, right?
Yeah.
Had to be.
I mean, that is a quick clock. But, the teams know it too. It's dangerous out there if there's lightning in the area. And, boy, it has gotten dark out here in a hurry.
You can see the lightning right over the high school building. It is getting close. It was in the distance earlier when I mentioned it. It's not so distant right now, and you may be able to pick it up on your screen how it's gotten a bit darker.
Well, in any event, it is the 4th quarter, and the Crusaders would love to hang their hat on something positive here, Joe, rain or not. And for a team where scoring has been a premium, at least in the preseason, they'd love to get something positive here, and they have the chops to do it here, and it's 3rd and 8.
Rain still slated for about 7:45 through 8 p.m. according to our latest forecast. We should be okay. 3rd quarter moved along quickly. The Crusaders hoping to keep this drive moving along. 3rd about 5. They'll look to throw. Short pass out of the backfield. And no broken tackle on that play for the Crusaders. Nicely done there to stop that play in the backfield. I think Collins may have been in on that tackle as well.
I was going to ask you, you know who that is, right, Joe? That's Collins on the other side. And, again, very hard to get to the edge where Collins is. You're not going to get that often. But it is 4th down. Officially, we have 5, maybe it's a little more than that. I would say it's about 8 yards. Another big play. Clock is still running here.
Might be close to 10, Dave. Full 10. Looks like those sticks may be aligned over there.
Move that stick back. Yeah, you could see it on the bottom right of your screen that you're watching at home. They are aligned. 4th and 10 it is.
Depth perception, not great from our angle, but with the offenses driving towards us, we have a really good look at the action, specifically on that punt return. 4th down pass coming up for the Crusaders, and it turns into a quarterback run. Will that be enough for the 1st down?
No, it's a couple yards short. It's a good effort by the quarterback, really good effort. He knew where the sticks were, and he tried everything in his power, somersaulting towards them, but he was noticeably short, about a couple of yards on the play. So the Patriots will take over on downs. And I know we've been harping on the weather, but you could see it, the sky in your background there, a little bit brighter than what you'll see when it moves across. So in our end zone, the sky is still relatively bright, but in the far end zone, the end zone to your left on the screen, it is very dark in that end zone, and the rain is coming along with the thunder and lightning.
Patriots will have it back. The score 26-0. Patriots over the Crusaders as we play early in this fourth quarter. The third quarter moved very quickly. Couldn't have been more than about 10 or 15 minutes.
Right.
We'll see if the Patriots look to keep the ball on the ground here and try and take this one to the finish, or if they look to continue airing it out. This has been a big play offense throughout this game. This play is a handoff to James. He looks to bounce it outside, but there's no room there. And he's taken down for no gain.
Yeah, jet sweep, and that's all about discipline defensively for the Crusaders. And they stayed disciplined, stayed in their lanes, and, of course, stayed true to their positions. And there was nowhere for James to go. So 2nd and 10 will be the next down upcoming as the clock continues to move here in the fourth quarter. Patriots looking like they're on their way to a 1-0 start in the IFA. These two teams will meet up again on the season's final day. In May, it'll be a Patriots home game in the Bronx.
That's a very interesting dynamic to play the same team in week 1 and in week 6 of a 6-week schedule. You got to look at one another in your first regular season game, and then once adjustments have been made and you're battle tested through 5, you face one another again. Jernigan looks deep up the right sideline, and that's caught well out of bounds.
Yeah. Good job making the catch, but it was out of bounds. They looked to go over top. That time Chris Pierre looked like he came down with it, but it will be a 3rd and 10 upcoming. And looks like the Patriots want to go quick here, even though obviously the clock is stopped, but they are not huddling up either. At least
is it?
Looks like a muddle huddle.
Is it, though?
What?
The clock. Is the clock stopped?
Oh, well, yeah. We have our.
I only ask.
We have our thoughts on that for sure.
Judging on the third quarter, I have a feeling it was running.
Well, I got to tell you.
Not unusual.
I got to tell you, Joe, with the rain and lightning, and it hasn't really affected our crowd here in front of us. I mean, we got some loyal fans here. They're putting their ponchos on. They're getting ready for it, but they're not moving. They're staying, and Marcus, some good fans here.
Oohs and ahs at the Lightning now as that's a screen pass to the left.
Fumbled.
The ball is fumbled, and once again, it is recovered by the Patriots. Juan Colon scooped it up after it was dislodged.
Yeah, and again, we talk about how the Crusaders might think they're a little snake bitten in this game. How that for another play? You end up forcing the turnover. It's a nice play defensively. Goes right into the hands of a Patriots wide out, and they're able to push the ball forward a little bit, maybe a yard or two. And it'll be 4th and about 7.
Well, the Crusaders have made some mistakes in this game, but
sure,
they've had a lot of bad bounces go their way, or I should say go against them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that 4th down, the second 4th down touchdown, that was a killer. Because if you get a stop there, that's the first drive of the third quarter. The score at that point would have remained 14-0. Now you have the ball, feeling pretty good about yourself, and just never know what could happen from that point on, but not to be. Instead, you're down 20-0. You go 3 and out. You punt it away. You're down 26-0. And who knows what the final few minutes of this game holds as we have a flag down and what could be a delay of game. Indeed it is. So it'll be 4th down, backed up.
It's getting a bit more chilly here in the booth as well.
The wind is picking up.
You can feel the wind beginning to blow through the window in front of us. So.
Yeah, Joe, and my meteorologist is my wife, who's in New Jersey. That's where I live, and she had asked me if it's raining there, and I said, no, is it raining by you? And then she went dark on me, and she stopped texting me. So I don't know what's happening over there.
Yikes. I'm known as something of a meteorologist myself among our crew over at the College of Staten Island, where I broadcast games from time to time.
Well, that's only because you have the Crusaders head of security to your right, and he keeps showing you the weather forecast on his phone.
Well, I said they call me something of a meteorologist at CSI.
Gotcha.
I'm a veteran of the Staten Island weather patterns. I need some help here in Brooklyn.
Well,
Once I cross the Verrazano, I lose my meteorology skills.
That's right. And you're a master at the College of Staten Island, where the winds are just intense and crazy. And we always say at that campus, where if the winds are 5 miles an hour, you could just increase that by 10 or 15 miles an hour there, and the temperatures get a lot lower there as well.
Temperatures dropping here. The Crusaders have it. We play on in the fourth quarter. It will be first down for the Crusaders offense following that last punt. They are still looking for their first points of the season. Have had chances throughout this game, yet to get on the scoreboard. This could very well be their last drive of the game. 5 wide here for the Crusaders. 3 wide left, 2 to the right. Looked like that snap may have been muffed. The pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and quarterback, off of the deflection, takes it and carries it forward for a very short gain, perhaps no gain.
Yeah, good block at the line of scrimmage by the Patriots. It's important that they play, or they continue to play hard here too, Joe. I know on the coaching staff, when sometimes your team is up by a crooked number, your defense kinds to soften up, it doesn't play as hard perhaps, but I know that the Patriots coaching staff, that's something that they're certainly looking at as well. Let's finish this game hard. Let's finish it strong, and let's get this shutout here for our guys in white.
Not many breakdowns defensively on the side of the Patriots in this game. They have been stout from start to finish. Handoff up the middle. Short gain once again.
Yeah, tripped up at the line for a very minimal gain as well, maybe a gain of 1, but it looks like the sticks are right there still, so 3rd and 10.
That sound is the wind coming in through the window of the press box. Our camera right now is pointing to the left of midfield where the action is taking place. We are to the right of midfield in the end zone. It seems like the wind is blowing in this direction, so that would put the wind behind the Crusaders offense at the moment. They have a 3rd down, about 10. It's a 3rd down pass coming, and that throw is incomplete.
So that'll set up a 4th and 10 and perhaps another punting situation here for the Crusaders.
The alarm is sounding somewhere.
Yeah, I heard that.
Sounded like your stereotypical iPhone alarm.
So maybe at the end of this play, Joe, we could talk a little bit about where we will be next, and as well as our fleshed out schedule over the next few weeks. But next week, something that was unanticipated, but we'll do that after this next play. I think the Crusaders will be lining up to punt. Yes, they will, as they get James back in. Their punter/quarterback started the first half of this game.
A lot to look forward to in the coming months here on the PDF Sports Network. It's going to be a busy summer. It's a busy month of April. A lot of football. So that snap went awry, and that punt was blocked.
Still going. I think it went out of bounds. And that's where the Patriots will take over.
Now, is that Dave Patterson who emphatically recovered that ball and spiked it in the end zone?
I don't know. I was depending on our video feed as the rain starts here in Brooklyn. But tomorrow, Joe, we have a very unexpected game on the schedule. We'll be doing a video-only broadcast of the Long Island Eagles of the TFL, the Triborough Football League. They'll be hosting the Mount Vernon Bangers. That is a rematch of last year's TFL championship. And then from there, we have a veritable game of the week here on PDF Sports Network. And you'll see it on your screen coming up here, but we are eagerly anticipating the open of the American Arena League football, a league that was defunct for a couple of years, Joe, but is back, and we are the official broadcast station of the Jersey Bearcats, and they will play the Steel City Stampede in a couple of weeks. We'll carry those games live, and we'll have a different game each week pretty much from April 15th all the way through May.
Looking forward to it. A lot of football coming up here on the PDF Sports Network. We do anticipate some Little League World Series qualifying action in the summer as well. Those games played at Great Kills and South Shore Little League on Staten Island. We have that coming up in the month of July.
Yep. So tomorrow's game, the TFL, we'll carry that game at 3 o'clock. We will go live for that game. That will be a video-only broadcast, although we won't have a broadcast team in the booth, but we'll have everything that we usually have for our broadcast, and then we're off on Easter weekend, and then April 15th, of course, back for the Jersey Bearcats. We had seen on your screen, too, that we have entered into a partnership with the Tri-State Warriors Women's Professional Alliance football team. They are a Division II team in the WFA, and we are eagerly anticipating that. They'll kick off against the New York Wolves on April 22nd, so a lot of great football, as Joe mentioned, coming up.
And that pass is completed for a touchdown. Jernigan to James on the connection. And following the blocked punt, the Patriots cash in immediately to make this a 32-point game.
Yeah, and they've certainly blown this one open in the second half, kind of a modified second half as far as time is concerned, as it has been beating down. But the Patriots have now opened their lead 32-0, a chance to go 2 points more. And then this game will officially be on the clock.
I would not be surprised if this is our last play. We will see. And it's a handoff on the 2-point try. That ball was fumbled.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Crusaders may have been first on top of it right at the goal line. So that will be an unsuccessful 2-point try.
It's the second time the Patriots have fumbled a 2-point conversion. That's something that they'll want to work on. And let's keep our eyes here on the officials, Joe, because they have congregated a bit.
I think I heard a whistle to effectively end the game. We'll see.
Oh, we just lost them on our screen. But they are getting together, perhaps to make a determination here.
From here, it looked like they told the Crusaders to stay on the sideline. The Patriots have no players on the field. The Crusaders are ready to continue, but I don't believe that's going to happen.
Well, let's see here.
Just a hunch on my part. I could be wrong.
And I think one of the officials perhaps has their phone out just to kind of check the lightning in the area.
Well, the wind taking our camera covering, flipping it forward and over the lens of our camera.
And we'll see what the result is, but it looks like they are going to come back onto the field at least for a couple of more seconds as we continue to battle the wind here. You'll see it on your screen, but
the wind not giving an easy time to our camera operator, Louis Matrone, as we do have a covering for our camera, and I don't see any way they can continue this game. It is a lightning show up above the building that is New Utrecht High School, and
yeah, we are pretty
I think
much
they have to call this, Dave.
Right, we're pretty much on borrowed time, whether we get suspended because of lightning or whether the time just ends on us. We'll see, but perhaps this could be the last play, perhaps, maybe the last couple of plays. Maybe they'll allow the Crusaders to have another drive out of this. We'll see what they ultimately decide they want to do. But we're on borrowed time no matter what.
That kick is sent away, fielded on a bounce by the Crusaders. And the Patriots rally to make the tackle, shy of midfield. That return looks to have been taken inside the 45-yard line.
Yep, and I'm going to have the binoculars on and watching the official the entire time, the lead official with the white hat on.
Well, they get a football from the Crusaders sideline, and play will continue. But
I have to imagine this would be the last drive here, Joe, though.
I don't think
Clock
there's any
is
question.
Running. I mean,
Clock running or not, I think that the rain probably gets here. Or I should say the intense rain probably gets here by the time this drive concludes. But we will see. The officials tell them to play on, and they will play on. But the Patriots leading the Crusaders 32-0. Still an opportunity for the Crusaders to get on the board for the first time. If I'm not mistaken, this is drive number 4 for them in the second half. Perhaps drive number 3. It'll be a first down pass. That throw goes left, and I believe that was complete.
Yeah, it was caught, trapped into the lower body, but down immediately on the play. So a positive play will result in about 7 yards, maybe 6 or 7 yards, not quite sure.
That was Michael Valcourt on the reception. According to our roster, he wears number 84.
Another lengthy delay here as we have a couple of players exiting the field late without a helmet on for the Patriots.
There's been quite a bit of time between plays throughout this game on more than one occasion. Now, have they ended the game or stopped the clock?
I don't know.
Looks like both teams are headed for the sidelines.
Well, the person who would probably know this more is our cameraman, Louis Matrone, who's dealing with, of course, the wind and the camera and the rain. And it doesn't look like the game is over, that's for sure. Both teams have gone to their respective, and maybe that's the 2-minute warning, Joe.
Well, as we said before, we will call it a timeout on the field.
Yeah, I really think this is the 2-minute warning. I think if they needed an official stoppage for that, this is it.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's the logical explanation. I didn't see a motion towards each bench in any way regarding the timeout that was called. So when we pick up here, it'll be 2nd down and short. Last gasp attempt for the Crusaders to put some points on the board in this one. They'll go to 0-1 on the season. The Patriots at 1-0. At the end of this evening, every team in the IFA will have played their opening day game. And this league will come into better focus tomorrow morning. A lot of storylines to be played out in the coming weeks.
2nd down for this Crusaders offense after that last pass completion, and a lot of room to run as they heave it down the field. And that pass is caught! And that will be a Crusaders touchdown! Michael James on the touchdown pass. He finds a man open inside of the 10-yard line, and that will go for 6 as Lamar Gordon has the first Crusaders touchdown of the 2023 season.
And what's really impressive, Joe, is that Gordon actually slips on this play, is able to regain himself, and actually kind of found the ball in his hands. You might pick it up here where he kind of slipped, doubled back, and was able to pick it up and scamper in the rest of the way for the touchdown. What a job by the Crusaders to get on the board, break up the shutout, 32-6, a chance for 2 more. Tremendous play by the New York Crusaders to get on the register.
And that's why they play 60 minutes, Dave, for plays just like that. Broken coverage down the field, defensive back and receiver get tangled up. Some slick turf, the rain coming down. That didn't slow down Gordon, and he makes that touchdown reception for 6. James will hand off on the 2-point try, and the back is stood up at the line of scrimmage. Unsuccessful 2-point conversion.
And getting back to that touchdown, great grab by Gordon, obviously, but a good job, too, by James. You know, he was running for his life on the right side. He threw that well in stride and in motion, and he pretty much threw it on a dime. So that's a great job by him. You could see the sweeping rains now on your screen, certainly affecting our play now. And looks like there's a cooler on the field. Joe, this game is over. I believe this game is over.
Once again, our final score, Patriots 32, Crusaders 6. We will see you in 2 weeks for Jersey Bearcats Arena Football right back here on the PDF Sports Network.